Well, there goes the Daverhood. Ooh, must be something I ate. Whoops. Don't know why it does that. Let me just X that out. Thank you very much. And let's see what I've got here. I've got the number 8, which I'm going to put up very, very upside down-y. So, how can an 8 be upside down if it's just an infinite loop? I never understood that. But okay, let's put this up here for 8. Let me just put that over there. Joyce, my darling and adorable wife, is also creating the set as we speak for this 801th, not quite. We've done quite a lot of shows over the years. Let's put this one all the way over here. So I have a little bit of thing there. No, it's not the 81st episode of Dave's Gone By. It happened, well, okay, it's kind of a giveaway. We have this sign also. It is the 800, and she's finding the 7 as we speak. It's kind of hard to find in that. There it is, there's one. She's found one. She's going to stick some tape on it. And oh boy, Broadway shows spend, at this point, sometimes $1 million just on the set.
Such a waste.
Like a Broadway musical, it's just something nice to look at, and the lighting has to hit it just right, and it's got to be safe for the actors and usable with tons of wing space and stuff. But ladies and gentlemen...
You're not equity, right? You're not SAG.
Well, everything's sagging on me.
But you're not a Teamster.
But everything at this point... Look, for $1.47... Behold, the set is completed.
No, wait, I'm going to give you one more thing.
Look at this. We're augmenting the set because we had a little extra money in the budget. What are we doing? Oh, this is excellent.
It's
oh,
3D.
Boy. And it'll pop a little bit. Now, this ribbon has to move. I'm thinking of just being a little bit more aesthetic here. That's nice. There we go.
We don't have a set designer.
Look. Behold.
Maybe we could get Leslie or somebody to help with set.
Do you think she's good at that?
She's a director. I mean, she told the lady how to be on the Zoom.
So, oh boy. I don't know where to put that, though. She is making a design.
Put it over your head. It's like a crown.
Let's see how I can maneuver this so that it's going to be right. See, notice, huh? We spare no expense. Let's try it right here.
I'm going to see.
And let's just see how it is in relation to my brain head. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the 817th episode of Dave's Gone By. Thank you, darling. My wonderful wife, Joyce, is with me. I'm Dave Lefkowitz, the founder of, TotalTheater.com, publisher, PerformingArtsInsider.com, most importantly, the creator 19 plus years ago of this program called Dave's Gone By. Way back in the day, it was a podcast, it wasn't. It was just terrestrial radio. Turn on your radio on the car, and there it was. Then years later, it morphed into internet radio.
Look, the crown is a little bit like.
Yes, I need to ease back a little.
David, I think you gotta fix it. Look.
Well, it's a Jewish crown. There it goes. Yeah.
Here, let me try.
Well, yeah, it has to go up just a little bit above my head.
I don't want to make.
Those are the pretty arms of my lovely wife, Joyce. Look at that. I want to get some ratings, hon. Can you show a little bit of your boobs?
No.
Please? Nice elbows.
Later.
All right. Now.
Just tilt your screen up. Tilt your screen. No, tilt the like this.
There we go.
No. Come on,
Wait.
Down.
Yeah, what? Well, now you got the books in there.
There.
No, the framing, no.
No?
I mean, it works for the crown, but it doesn't work for anything else. So let's try this. And now, there we go. Look at that. I feel like a little girl with a bow on her head now, which is, the aesthetic choices that we make. And by the way, you can see her boobs now. So we are getting some good feedback. Thank you for the thumbs up. Oh, yeah. That's kind of neat. Now I feel like Jughead. Which Joyce appreciates, of course. Ladies and let me tell you what the show's going to be. Let me tell you what every... Oh,
you look cute, David. Look. Look at yourself. Look.
Aren't I? Aren't I just...
You look cute.
There you go.
You look very handsome.
Oh, thank you, hon.
Doesn't the Green Day guy has hair like that, right?
He does?
Doesn't the Green Day guy have spiky hair?
Oh, I get I never listened to Green Day. I've never saw American Idiot. I know, we're calling this program Green Day, but it's got nothing to do with the band Green Day or, perhaps Gabby Petito's turning green at the moment. No, nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with our guest coming up in the Daverhood in just a little while. She is the daughter, quite literally, of theater royalty.
Wow.
She is the daughter of Adolph Green,
Wow.
who co-wrote major Broadway shows like Bells Are Ringing and the Will Rogers Follies. He co-wrote Singing in the Rain, for gosh sakes, with his writing partner, Betty Comden. Now, the big...
David, I could have put an umbrella.
Oh, it's all right. Next time. The people think that Betty Comden and Adolph Green were married, because they wrote all those shows together, they worked together all day long, day after day, their day job. They, like anybody else that you work with in a day job, that was Betty Comden and Adolph Green. Adolph Green was actually married to another person who was also a theater person, a woman named Phyllis Newman, whom we were very proud and happy to have on this program a few years back. Phyllis Newman passed, I think, in 2019 or 20. But anyway, the daughter of Adolph Green and Phyllis Newman, her name is Amanda Green. She is a singer-songwriter, musical composer herself, and has had work done on Broadway. For example, the well-received Broadway musicals Hands on a Hard Body, as well as High Fidelity, and a show called Bring It On, which I dread to mention, was co-written with my wife's bête noire.
Oh.
I know. But yes.
Was it bringing the stink?
It was actually called Bring It On, about cheerleading competition. It was fun. It was okay.
Or pedophilia.
It was co-written by Amanda Green and Lin-Manuel Miranda. So we'll have some questions about that.
He should come on the show and defend himself.
Okay, yes, he's welcome anytime. But this show, we've got Amanda Green in the Daverhood, especially because, she's going to be, I think, at Birdland. Is that the reason that we want to publicize this? Not this weekend, but next weekend, you're going to want to catch her singing her song. She also was in Nashville for a little bit, writing songs in that idiom, but we best know her as a theater person because, of course, she came from that lineage and has had some success in Broadway, New York theater as well. Amanda Green, going to be talking to Rabbi Sol Solomon in just a little bit in the Daverhood here on Dave's Gone By. We will also have on the show our weekly and beloved Today, Yesterday Theater. It's a history quiz, not a theater quiz. So the idea of it is trivia questions. And they're all based on things that happened on this date, September 25th, in history. So the question could be from 500 years ago, 100 years ago, 2 years ago. Things that happened, events on September 25th, make up today, yesterday. And we play the quiz. When I first came up with that idea, when I first started doing it on the show.
Do you want a drink?
I'm good, I got seltzer here.
Okay.
When we first started doing it on the program, it was just me reading a bunch of questions and kind of waiting for people at home to type in or log in with the answers. And then I started thinking, well, maybe it'd be more fun if we do it as a panel kind of thing, like a What's My Line, a Jeopardy, a competition of some sort. And so we've been doing it like that, and it's become, in some ways, the most popular segment of the show.
Word scramble. I don't think anyone likes that except Fred because he does Scrabble.
I love the word scramble. I don't think we have a word scramble on this one. We do have our 3 clues in the news, I believe, and we have questions that we will put to our panelists, all competing against each other. We will have Leslie Hoban Blake, the theater critic and director, up against David Sheward, of course. David Sheward is the former president of the Drama Desk, also a former managing editor of Backstage Magazine, and currently still a theater critic for places like theaterlife.com and culturaldaily.com. They will be up against, I've got to say, almost a regular panelist herself, the delightful Vicki Quade, whom you can see if you're in Chicago. She is back on stage in person doing Late Night Catechism, and also getting ready in just a week or two to be doing another show called Holy Ghost Bingo. So those are all happening in Chicago if you're there. So yeah, Vicki Quade. This is this is kind of the team. It's David and Leslie, who are with us, health permitting and time permitting, every week. Vicki Quade is sort of our third alternate. Like, she's our almost regular.
Yeah.
So, and they're all great, and they all have a great time playing the game.
Guest panelist on the guest panel.
There you go, the guest panelist on the guest panel on Dave's Gone By. Also, we will do Greeley Crimes and Old Times. This is where I don't have to do any actual work, because the heavy lifting is done by the Greeley Tribune newspaper, a long-running newspaper. In fact, it's been around so long. How long has it been around? It's been around to the point where one column that we share with you every week on Dave's Gone By comes from here. It's called 100 Years Ago. Our friend over at the Tribune, Mike Peters, goes through the newspapers 100 years ago, like back in 1925, to pick out the most weird, goofy, nostalgic things that they were putting in the paper.
Got thumbs up. Let's see.
Back then, who gave us a thumbs up?
Rodolfo.
Oh, hey, Rodolfo. Good thing. I hope you're doing great. And then we mix those up with another column that's regularly in the papers in the Greeley Tribune, which is once a week they collect all the phone calls that come into the Greeley and Weld County Police Department. And, a lot of them, you want to call the police, a lot of them are very serious. They have to be looked into. Some others, not so much, but it's still public record. The phone calls still come into dispatch, and so those are gathered. The weirdest, funniest ones are put in weekly in the Greeley Tribune in a column called Cop Log. We mix those up with 100 Years Ago to give you Greeley Crimes and Old Times. And if that weren't enough for a program, ladies and gentlemen, and as David Letterman would say, don't you think it ought to be? Well, we also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, a horrible, evil, disgusting 5-line poem that I write about somewhere in Colorado. And this week, we go to Lake City, Colorado, for our Limerick of the Damned. So all of that happening on this episode, this 817th episode of Dave's Gone By. Darling, honey, Joyce, how was your week?
It was very busy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that what's today's Saturday?
Today is Saturday, yeah.
I'm preparing for grading time.
That's right. Joyce is, of course, teaching classes. And did you just gag?
I because I ate my cornflakes quickly so that I could be present for your show.
Yeah.
I'm tasting those cornflakes.
Oh, that's as opposed to, you're teaching students.
And I have,
You have to grade.
No, I like grading. I have the gym.
Oh, yeah, she also has the gym. Actually, during my show. So if you hear grunting and if you hear sweat flinging off and hitting the lens of this camera.
I'm usually crying.
Crying, screaming. That's Joyce just working out in another room with her trainer person. Anywho, so apart from that, let me tell you about something kind of good that happened this week. Something kind of wonderful and amazing.
What's that?
In fact, 3 wonderful and amazing things that I want to share with you. So we go to visit Joyce's folks, right? And we're worried about something, and it turns out to be not as bad as something we're worried about, thank God, blah, blah, blah. So we go up there, and because it's still a pandemic, it's still Delta, and we're still worried and nervous, and we don't want to be, so it's sort of like Joyce has to go deal with something with her parents, and I'm like, well, I don't want to go in the house.
Oh boy.
Even though I'm vaccinated, still, I don't want to, what am I going to do? Well, literally halfway down the block is a supermarket.
In the neighborhood's gentrified, so now it has both bougie, organic, and it has the community. So Queens is one of the most. I think it's actually the most diverse borough. So in that community, you'll have, I don't know how many people who identify or from different cultures or ethnic groups. It's very diverse.
Yeah, absolutely. But one of the things that
one region.
what I really enjoy, even though I don't love shopping, I don't particularly enjoy shopping, but certainly during a pandemic, it gives me something to do. And I get a little, I like different restaurants. I like different places. I like to see new things, which I don't really get to do, even in regular life, but certainly since the pandemic. So here's an opportunity to be in a supermarket, and this is how tragic my life is, that I've never seen before, and I'm actually excited about it. I'm actually like, oh my God, here's a building with stuff in it, and I've never been in that building. Boy, oh boy, this is my chance. So Joyce goes off with her folks, and I get to grab a bag and see a different supermarket. I told you my life is tragic. So I go and I go in, and one of the lovely things, as Joyce says, it's not only just a diverse neighborhood, but for years and years it was a mix of Italian, Irish, and a lot of Polish.
Never Irish.
No, not Irish.
No,
what?
Originally the neighborhood was German.
German.
And it was German, and then it was Italian, and then we had people from Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. Now it's a lot of Eastern European, people from Egypt, so it's like the groups changed, so there was never Irish.
So not Irish, okay, but certainly Polish. There was a certain level of that there, and German. It was definitely a Germanic thing. So I go in, and I'm expecting, and I'm hoping that this supermarket isn't just a completely generic King Cullen, Costco-esque food town kind of, that there'll be some level of difference from the supermarket that I go to like every other day, 3 blocks from where we're living. So I go in, and the first thing you see is this wall of stuff made by brands.
Oh, you went into the Eastern European aisle.
Wow, that's the first thing you come to.
Yeah.
There's literally when you walk in the door, just like, what are these things? Who makes them? Now, if you know, a couple of weeks ago, I was raving about and at the same time mocking some goodies that our South Asian friend got us from a supermarket near her. So I was talking about this thing called rusk, which, well, it's all right, it wasn't that great, but it's basically Zwieback crackers that they don't even make anymore, and something called save. I call it sev. It's actually pronounced save. What the hell is it? It's these little crispy noodle things that get stuck up in my cleft palate, and yet they're still incredibly tasty. And what it was, they're fried chickpea snacks. If they made potato chips like a chickpea, they would be this, right? So, but I've never heard of the brand before, and even more importantly, I've never heard of this food before. And suddenly, oh my God, there's a product that a person can go into a store and buy, and it's called rusk. And another one is called sev. And there's probably dozens of things in this supermarket out in New Jersey. So this intrigues me. This is going to be one of my pilgrimages. I'm never going to get to Australia. I'm never going to get to Israel. I'm never going to get to anywhere. But I'm going to get to that.
Try, there's a Goya aisle, and if you go, the weirdest thing for me, I don't eat meat, but there's like a fresh fish aisle. So if you go in the back of the store, all the way where the bread is, like where you got the bread, all the way in the back on the left, there's like the fridge and all the cold cases and the eggs and the milk. There's like squid and octopus. There's so many. You should see.
Yes, you probably buy venison and bison and duck.
It's mostly like unusual fish.
So. Oh, all right, fine. Maybe that is probably the community that is living there now. Probably makes a lot of escovitch or whatever the heck they do. So that was our friend, our South Asian friend, who brought that from her supermarket. This time, I'm over in a market that's over in Queens. I go in and I look and I'm just, it's literally like a child going into the carnival. You don't know where to look. You don't know where to train your eyes first.
A lot of unusual. It's a non-hegemonic store, right?
Yeah. A lot of it, parts of it are very hegemonic. Parts of it is laundry detergent. Parts of it,
But even if you go in, you'll see different brands. So I got Mommy one time toilet paper. I've never heard of the brand.
There you go.
I think it wasn't manufactured And then, because I'm so bougie, when I go for myself, like I'll get whatever they want, and then I'll get like I got like the organic peanut butter, Cascadia Farm, so they have
it's different. The idea of trying something
there's so many
different ketchup.
They have names of olive oil I've never heard of. Mom's like, which olive oil do you want? I'm like, I don't even know the names. Yeah.
And considering the tone in the neighborhood, they don't have virgin, extra virgin. They have whore olive oil. It's really quite amazing.
I think that for people who are racist or people who are elitist, they don't get it. But for me, the beauty of that neighborhood and growing up there, it's a working class neighborhood with a diverse group of people.
Yes.
So the thing is, you hear like there's always a multilingual. You're always addressed in many languages. People always kind of understand the work ethic of, we're working hard to make for our family. It's a very different. It's a different feeling. Like people speak to me in Spanish. Most of the time, I'll get some Italian, or I get most of the Eastern European languages. People speak to me. I'm like, I don't speak it. So anytime I go shopping, pre-pandemic in that neighborhood, people would address me in some language I couldn't speak, except Spanish. I could, muddle.
When people address me, it's funny. Asshole cuts across the language barrier. It doesn't matter where they're from. Eventually,
they would think, if you went into a lot of Polish stores or Eastern European, they would think you're Eastern European and address you.
I am. Well,
I'm sure you'd either get Polish or Russian.
Russian for sure. When I went to Russia years ago, people looked like me, and they started gabbling at me in Russia. I'm like, sorry, I'm Yane Panamayu. I don't understand you, but this I understand. So I got a couple. I should have gotten more, but I got a couple of representative items from this supermarket out in Queens. Of things that I've never seen. I assume maybe unless you're near that supermarket, you don't know what the hell these things are either. So I had to get them. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, you can't go wrong with this. This is little wafer coated cookie things.
Oh, that brand is good.
It's Slurry.
Crackers.
Yeah.
Oh, not that one. The other brand makes the tea crackers.
Yeah, but these are Slurry Eurocrema. And by the way, I want to alert you to the fact that these are a full 42% Eurocrema. Don't be settling for the ones that are only about 38.5%, or certainly not the ones that are 22% Eurocrema. This is 42% Eurocrema. And by the way, they are 100% delicious. And the amazing thing about this is they were imported to Ridgewood, New York. Literally, that's where the import came from. But these things were not made in Germany, and they were not made in any of the countries where people who have moved into this neighborhood are from. These are actually from, I think, Romania. Romania. Even though the company is called Swiss Lion, and yet none of this makes any sense at all. First of all, it's made by SL Technology. So you're making some good crackers and cookies.
Well, but they're technologically savvy.
If it didn't have these little hazelnuts on it, you would have no idea what was in here. However,
but I will tell you the other brand, so I used to meet my friend is starting a critical race and ethnic studies program in St. John. She's the founding director.
Cool.
So she's there a lot. So pre-pandemic, when I used to visit her, I used to go in the grocery store and get goodies. And we like a tea cracker with a little bit of chocolate, even though it triggers migraines. I'm careful. And I used to get nuts and all kind of snacks, and we'd make popcorn. So when I was by my mom in Queens, I would go there, and every time she's like, whatever, neither one of us could read the box, but I would get it, and she's like, this is great. I could never get it again because I didn't know what it was.
Ask for it, right.
Those crackers and the people, So, it was...
But I know when I want this, and this is literally pasted on here, is Slurry with Eurocrema. And they're absolutely delicious, by the way. They're just hazelnut, chocolatey goodness cookies. This is a little misleading. It doesn't have a big, thick layer of chocolate icing on top. It's just a little bit light dusting of chocolate cookie, hazelnut filling, damn good. Is Slurry with, of course, Eurocrema. There's more. Ladies and gentlemen, also in this same supermarket, we get this. And I have not tried this yet, but how can this be bad? Look at this chocolate. Never heard of this brand.
That's the brand. Let me see.
Pioneer.
That's one of them. Oh, one of them is the one that has. I think that's the one that has the good. You can get apparently they stock up on a lot of sweets and bread and cakes.
Yeah.
Even my mother, she'll get cannoli. They have a lot of
But notice the name of this treat. Notice the name. It's not chocolate candies. It's not Russell Stover or Barton's. Name. If you can read this, it's Minjan Kak. Is the name of this candy. Minjan Kak.
I don't know how to say it. If anybody speaks that language.
I'm really hoping that it's more like coque or coque.
We don't speak that language.
Because if I go into a supermarket and I say, do you have that Pioneer thing? I wanna put a little coque in my mouth. I would get a rather unfortunate response from that, I think.
I don't think they would blink an eye.
And where's this? I just saw this. I didn't notice this. Read this. Okay. Read this, ladies and gentlemen. This is literally on the back of the box.
I can't see what it says.
Hold on, I'm trying to hold it steady without laughing.
Foamy product coated with chocolate.
Hon, it's a foamy.
Who doesn't love a foamy product? Come on.
made with Castile soap, my friends.
Let me tell you something. They're good sweets. They're not too. For me, the tea crackers were not too sweet. And you should look in the produce, the fish.
Yeah.
Look at the milk. They have different yogurts, and you should look in the.
Yeah, I didn't want to buy anything that was perishable on our way.
But they have crazy different types of yogurts. You would get good flan.
Oh, flan!
And go to the deli counter. Some of the meats, I'm like.
Yes.
Some of the prepared stuff, I'm like, I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah. I think one of it's got to be Gabby Petito.
No.
She's just gonna be making horrible Gabby Petito jokes also.
They would not do any Gabby Petito. They would.
You sure? What about Gabby Petito?
Don't upset them.
By the way, that's coming too later in the program. We have some exciting news about potatoes. And there's one more item that I got from this supermarket, but I'm going to save it because it's almost 9:30 already and our guest is waiting in the Daverhood. So I'm going to play some music to bring our guest into Dave's Gone By. Her name is Amanda Green. She is the daughter of Phyllis Newman and Adolph Green, and also a cabaret and Broadway notable herself. Unfortunately, I am not going to be doing the interview. That honor will go to, of course, the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sal Solomon. And is there a more appropriate title to bring in Rabbi Sal than a song written by Amanda Green called Ready to Settle? Here we go.
Grabbed the moon, full of hope, fell to earth without a rope. Heart as heavy as a stone. Been betrayed, been abused, spirit flayed and ego bruised. Everybody dies alone. I always knew before he flew he was too good for me. Now I'm here with you. How more different could you be? You're just like me, alone and sad. And in this light, you don't look so bad. I've had the best, now I need a rest. Just someone who'll do, and I'm ready to settle for you.
Oh, this is the story of my life. I settle for everything and then I complain. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your old pal Rabbi Sal Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I am thrilled and delighted to have a Jewess on the program. She's waving. I need you to unmute your mic and unmic your mute so that we can hear you. Amanda Green, while you're doing that, let me tell you a little bit about Amanda Green, ladies and gentlemen. She is, of course, the daughter of Phyllis Newman, Adolph Green, but for herself, she is the current president of the Drama Desk, which helps playwrights and people like that. She is a Tony nominee for the Broadway musical Hands on a Hard Body. She also helped write Bring It On, which was a kind of a hit on Broadway about cheerleaders, which I always like, and the delightful Broadway show High Fidelity. She was also even brought in, we'll talk about this, to add material to a revival of Kiss Me Kate. Imagine being invited to improve upon Cole Porter and William Shakespeare. This is talent, ladies and gentlemen. Would you please welcome to the Daverhood with a great big shalom, Amanda Green. Shalom, Amanda, and please unmute so that we can hear you. Oh, there you go. How you doing?
I'm very happy to be here. It's the Dramatist Guild, not the Drama Desk.
Oh, I'm
the president of.
I get confused.
All composers, writers, and librettists, and protect their copyrights.
This is tremendously important. What is it? Is it 1927 is the year now with copyright that anything before then is okay, and anything after 1927 you need permission, or it doesn't?
I don't know the exact year, but sounds good.
Yeah, sounds pretty good to me. Now, first of all, how has your Yontif been? How, because we're in the middle of Sukkot and getting into Shmini Atzeret and Shavuos. Not Shavuos, what the hell am I talking about? Simchas Torah. What, how's that been for you? Do you even
Nice.
Yeah?
Good.
Well, you had, I assume you had a very secular upbringing, but does Judaism mean anything to you?
Absolutely. I grew up with I went to temple on all the high holies. I have aunts and uncles and cousins who were very observant. So we went to temple with them for all the biggies.
Does the Jewish,
yeah.
But does the Jewish mindset, the culturalness of it, come out in your work, in your writing sometimes? Do you realize only a Jew could have written this?
Certainly it is. Yes, I think it's just in the water. Absolutely.
And did you have to tamp that down when you were in Nashville?
Yes, the words shalom and chutzpah and schmuck and things like that don't go over too big with angels and trucks and Jesus.
This is true.
Yeah.
I got schmaltz in the back of my truck, and they wouldn't play. They couldn't. Yeah. Right. Anywho, so let's roll it back a little bit. When did you, when you were a little girl growing up, and people would come to the house, really, really famous people in the theater world, the Cy Colemans and the Sondheims and the people like that. Did it make any kind of impression on you, or were you a kid like, oh, grown-ups, they're boring, I just want to go and play with my toys?
Oh, no. Well, first of all, my dog is barking, and that's not a euphemism, so I'm going to close the door. Hold on.
Please do. Fastest interview ever, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
No, yes, no, they absolutely made. I was enthralled with all of them. Yes, so that was the some of the highlights of my childhood were, getting to hang out with them and listen to them play. It was, it.
Do you remember hearing a song that they played at the piano? Oh, we just wrote this, and then 3 years later, it's on a cast album, and then it has become a standard now.
Absolutely, yes. I remember my father and Betty and Cy Coleman playing the song "Never Met a Man I Didn't Like," and Steve Sondheim playing the entire score of Sweeney Todd when I was
before.
Yeah. I got to listen to him do it. It was one of the great moments of my life. So yes.
Can you? I mean, Sondheim is Sondheim. What is it? How do you quantify why he's as great as your dad was, as great as Phyllis Newman was, as great as Becky Conn? What makes him just sort of the king of all everything?
It's his superlativeness in every department, lyrically, musically, his insight into, humanity, his wordplay, his humor, all of it. He's got it all going on all cylinders. So I think the fact that he has all those gifts working at the same time, that's my take.
Okay. Now, your dad was no slouch, but I'm thinking in terms of, did he want to teach you? Were you, knowing what your dad did for a living and did so well, when you started to want to write songs and want to, did you share with your parents, or were you like, I can't because they're them. They're not just parents. They're not going to say, oh, everything you do is wonderful. They're like, no, they write for Broadway. You want to write for Broadway too? Here's the rules. What was that like?
They were, I was very happy to share with them, and they were very supportive, although he was very proud of almost everything I did. Although, when I wrote, I played him a melody and I said, it's not much. And he's like, no, it's not.
He's Jewish. Oh boy.
I mean, we always shared jokes and things. So I was thrilled to, and he loved hearing me, I recite him lyrics I was writing, and he was, so it was not intimidating. I should have been more intimidated, but luckily, the stupidity of youth keeps you from from seeing how daunting it could be to do what they do.
No, I am kind of, when you had mentioned, and this is your word, not mine, but your word, that you had said your dad was a big eccentric. What?
Yes.
Give us some eccentricities of Adolph Green, please.
Well, he was eccentric in every department. He had his own. He would make up words. When he swore, which he did often. Sometimes, he'd be like,
you can use, by the way, the
ukulele juice. That was one of his things. You're like,
what?
Ukulele juice. That was one of his things. He would hum. He could sing symphonies and play every part. Blunk up, blunk up, blunk up, blunk, digga, 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 digga. So he just was. There was a world going on inside his head that was going on inside no one else's, and outside his head, because he was loud.
Oh, well, is that because he was Jewish and deaf, like I'm half deaf, or just, he was just loud? That was his thing.
He was just loud.
What was he most proud of in his career? In other words, if he were to point to a song or something that he worked on, be it Singing in the Rain or one of his Broadway, what do you know what he felt most proud of about his work?
Singing in the Rain. I think that was what he felt most proud of.
Is that your favorite piece by either your mom or your dad, or not? What do you feel was your parents' greatest contribution, maybe separately, to theater or music or both?
I think Singing in the Rain, certainly. On the Town, too, for my dad. My mom, I think that her chutzpah, I mean, she was the first female guest host on Johnny Carson. So, so the fact that she was sort of out there and could hold her own and trade barbs back and forth with Johnny. And she was very funny. And so I truly admired that about her.
And she just passed, what was it, about 2 years ago at this point, or so? So, what was it? Heavy question, but I'm kind of curious. You lost your dad a few years back, but her more recently. I'm sorry?
Many years back, 2002. Yeah.
What is it like losing the second parent? Is it somehow worse, or is it easier, or... I know, it's terrible, because the host of this...
What's the good answer? Oh, it was so much easier. Ooh, let me tell you, this second time was a charm. I tell you, that one...
I know. No, there's some reasoning. The host of this program lost a parent a couple of months ago.
I'm sorry.
God willing, the other parent will stick around for a while, but if they don't, so... Easier, harder, better, worse, more fun? What?
It was infinitely more fun. No, it is very profound when you lose both parents, because then all of a sudden, when my father died, my mom sort of took the mantle of everything. And then when she passed away, now I've taken the mantle of everything. You know what I mean? Like their works, their life, their belongings, his legacy, her legacy is suddenly, on my shoulders. So it's very profound.
And you feel finally, because at some point I will feel like a grown-up. I still don't. Was there a point when you felt like, was it a Broadway opening night and you're like, I've arrived, or you still feel like 10 years old?
It depends what day or situation you catch me in. If I'm filling out forms for the real estate tax, I feel very much like a grown-up. But if I'm, trying a lyric out on a creative team than I feel 10 years old. So, that's the way it goes.
Now, we're talking with Amanda Green. I wanted to know more a bit about the process of creating shows. The old way, the way that your parents grew up with, was you have an idea for a show, you work on it, you take it out of town for like 3 weeks in New Haven, you bring it in, and boom. For the past 30 years, it's been like you work on it, you workshop, you're reading, your backers, you this, you take it out of town, you have more workshops. It takes 8 years to get a goddamn show on the things. Which do you think is better?
I mean, it's certainly faster the old way. Of course that would be preferable, but I also know firsthand how hard it is to write a musical. I don't begrudge a workshop that I've had, but I certainly don't like how much time it takes. It's just ridiculous. And also, I mean, because they're so expensive, because everybody's doing so many other things to keep a career going and stay, make money, that it's really hard to pull things off these days, much harder, and takes much more time. So faster is always much more fun and better, obviously.
But is it like producers where you always have to have 5 different projects going on at once and be ready to pull the trigger on one and then put the others aside? You can't just kind of monomaniacally work on one thing?
Yeah, you cannot. You cannot, and I think you should not maniacally work on it.
Well, I'm a maniac. Yeah.
That's just the way, you want it, an heir and a spare, so to speak. If all your babies are in that basket, it could be, and it doesn't work out, then you're, I think that's really a tough situation to be in.
Well, let me ask you, let's delve into a little bit into specifics into one of your first big shows, High Fidelity, which made it to Broadway. Was it? So, and it got some good reviews, some not so good reviews. It did not last long on Broadway. But here's the question for you. Like, when you were reading it and backing it and workshopping it, did it feel just right? And then when it came to Broadway, this person was telling you, no, this has to change. And suddenly this in the second act is or isn't work. And then did you pull it out of shape? Or was it the same show and people just didn't come?
It went through many iterations. And if you ask anybody, I think almost any Broadway show, it changed drastically. And I just don't think it was the right, I'm very proud of the show, very proud of the writing. I love the cast. So I don't look back and go, oh, how could I have written that? Because I got no quarrel with what I wrote and what we wrote together. So, some good decisions were made, some bad decisions were made. So many decisions are always made bringing a show to Broadway. And I just don't think, I'm not here to Monday morning quarterback or put the blame on other people. It just didn't work out, but it will have its day. It's a really good show and it's a great sport.
That's one thing that people don't realize. Oh, I lasted, however many weeks on Broadway. But then people start doing the shows elsewhere. And they work, and they do them in colleges, and they do them in the regionals, and they do them in the straw hats. Well, it's no straw hats anymore, but you know what I'm saying. But they get done, and the songs get done in cabarets and things like that. Same, I'm sure, with Hands on a Hard Body, which was, by the way, since I am a rabbi, let me explain to people that Hands on a Hard Body is not the name of a pornographic film. And I've seen all the pornographic films, so I can tell you it's not. No, it has to do with, well, why don't you tell people, in case someone wants to revive this show, what it's about?
It's Hands on a Hard Body is based on a documentary of the same name, which was documented a contest where people would put their hands on the hard body pickup truck for the chance to win it on it's kind of like they shoot horses, don't they? But with laughs and music.
Well, that Jane Fonda, she's hilarious, but yes.
Yes, so it was based on a documentary, and I wrote it with Trey Anastasio, who's the lead singer of Fish, and Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Doug Wright, who's a dear friend. And I loved working on it.
And again, that one got some very nice reviews, but did that belong in a Broadway situation for today's Broadway? Could that have done better at Playwrights Horizons or, I don't know, the West Side?
I don't Monday morning quarterback, because does Come From Away belong on Broadway? It's just people in chairs singing, so I just don't, it just didn't work out. It just wasn't the right time, the right situation, the right production. But I do think, and also Broadway, ticket prices are so high that that is a mismatch too, of like a show about people who can't afford to, buy groceries next week, and you're paying,
please,
a ticket to see them. There is a mismatch there. So yes, in that regard, yes, you might say it doesn't belong on Broadway. But again, if I could tell you what the answer was, I'd be
Okay. Well, at any given time, I have $1.48 in my bank account, so I can't even go to see Perfect Crime, let alone something on Broadway. And Perfect Crime gives its tickets away at this point, and I can't get in. So that because there's probably a surcharge. But okay, is there? I mean, it's sort of like, and your parents, they both had hits and flops and things like. There is no magic formula, and something can be working like that, and you can be sitting there on opening night of a show, and the audience is really having a great time and responding and loving it, and it's still something, the critics have at it, and then other people have at it. There's no, even after 150 years of Broadway, there's no, as we say, magic formula, if you will.
That's right.
But if there is one, they try to impart that to you, I assume, when you were part of the Lehman Engel, I call it the class act class, because they did that wonderful Broadway musical, A Class Act, about it's what do they call the Lehman Engel BMI workshop? That I couldn't think of that. So you went to that. What did they teach you there that you did not know intuitively as a songwriter already?
Oh, good question. Yeah, I'm really awfully glad I went. First of all, because I met all of my collaborators, not all of them, but many of them. Tom Kitt, he and I met there. Curtis Moore, who I'm working on a musical now, our fourth one.
Stop right there. Yeah. Stop 1 moment, please. Can you talk? Is it a secret, or what are you working on with this Curtis Moore? What are you doing?
I'll tell you. Yes, we're working on a musical called Female Troubles, which is not the John Waters.
Not the John Waters thing. No.
Female Troubles, which is an original concept we came up with. It's we describe it as Jane Austen meets Bridesmaids, but about women's reproductive freedoms. So it's kind of a Jane Austen-y story with contemporary music about a young woman who is engaged but not married, and her fiance is off on a ship, and she finds out she's pregnant, and she's got to do something about it.
Oh, and again, what era is it? The Austen era,
early 1800s.
So when were you just sitting around? We'll get back to the BMI thing, but were you sitting on the couch just saying, spitballing, I want to write a musical? What do I want to write about? I don't know. I've been reading a Jane Austen. How did that suddenly
Curtis, I love Curtis Moore. He's written for actually he writes a lot of original songs now for Mrs. Maisel, and a Jewish television.
Yes, damn it, yes.
Yes, and I love working with him, and we were sitting around going, what can we work on together? And I said, well, I can tell you the worst idea I've ever had for a musical, and that's Abortion, the musical comedy, because I care a lot about women's rights. And he was like, yeah, that's a rough one, but sometimes it works better to tackle a subject in a different time period. So then we were like, well, Jane Austen is fun. And then that got us going, on how to do it. Because I also want to do it with humor, and mostly with humor, and then get your points in a sneaky, funny way.
It's tough because the only thing that rhymes with coat hanger is banger. And they wouldn't have said that back in the day.
Well, that's why you're not writing the music.
True. So how long ago was it that you said, let's just take this quote unquote terrible idea and spin it into where are you in the process? How long ago did it start, and what has happened since?
Oh, okay. That was, I think, 3 years ago. We got collaborators. We found these two women who are fantastic, named Jen Crittenden and Gabby Allen, who write for Veep. And they have their own show now on Fox, Housebroken. They've written for a million TV shows and done musicals. And they are hilarious and smart. And they seem like the perfect, and they are the perfect, we make a very good team. And
how did you find them?
I found them through, I'll name drop Frank Rich. because I know Frank Rich, and I ran into him and I was like, okay, Frank Rich, you're really smart. Give me, who are some really fantastic, smart women writers? And he was like, you got to meet Jen and Gabby, because they were writing on Veep with him. So that's how I found them. And then we started working on it. And then I was working with Scott Ellis on Kiss Me Kate. And I loved working with Scott Ellis. So I was like, Scott, here's this little idea we have and a little bit of a script. And I went to second stage and they gave us a week reading for the act one. So we wrote act one, and that, so it's, we were supposed to be at Williamstown last summer, but COVID. So now we're doing a reading in November in New York City. And so, that's how it.
So that you have both acts. The full script is, at least a full draft of both acts is ready. Can we say what the name is? The name of the show? Or not yet.
Female Troubles.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Menopause is making me forget everything. Female Troubles is the name
and if you come to my cabaret act at Birdland, you will hear some songs from Female Troubles.
We should remind people, I didn't say it yet, that it's October 4th, Monday night at Birdland, and it's called Amanda Green and Friends Vaxxed as, well, exactly Vaxxed AF, right?
Yes.
But you know what that stands for. Vaxxed as Fakakta. It's at Birdland, 315 West 44th Street. It starts at 7 o'clock in the evening. And yes, you must be fully vaccinated to get in. And I'm guessing circumcised, considering that, you are involved in this. I'm hoping.
It's an honor system.
Yes. I'll give you that one. That was a very funny. So getting back to the Layman Angle BMI thing. So yes, you met Tom Kitt and you met other. So what again? The question is, what besides meeting all these potential collaborators, what can you point to that?
There are rules about writing a musical that sometimes you could say you intrinsically know, but I was very happy to learn certain rules and certain tropes and things and about storytelling, about different kinds of songs. Some stuff, I walked in there knowing how to write a funny song, but writing for character, I still made lots of rookie mistakes when I was writing.
Like what?
Let's see. Imperfect rhymes, a song choice that was sort of like, it would kind of go nowhere, and then I did things right. I mean, one thing I was very happy about was like, as you mentioned earlier, I'd gone to Nashville. I couldn't find my place in the, I was looking like, where do I belong? I'm a strange person. I'm too weird for Nashville. I thought
at a certain point you were too pop for Broadway. Now Broadway incorporates pop and rock and roll, but not so much when you were first,
Yeah. But anyway, so once I went to the BMI workshop, I was like, oh, I love doing this. I love this. And so I found the home of what I love to do. So that was really the most important thing. But I really did learn a lot of rules about what it takes to write a musical and the kinds of songs. I mean, of course, it's all formulaic and a lot of people know about it now, but the I Want song and the Charm song and the 11 o'clock number and the thing, but having those, that shorthand and those tools to be able to voice it are very important, I think.
Yeah, my problem anytime I try to write for anything is I start with, and it always turns into an I hate song. No matter what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn, I hate this. And then, 2 hours later.
It's always a very funny song.
It is, but you can't have a whole musical. I've tried. But anywho, we're talking with Amanda Green, who will be at Birdland on Monday night, October 4th, and we'll be having a reading of Female Troubles. I can't invite all of you to that because it is a private industry. Is it a backer thing or just a workshop thing or both?
A little bit of both. But also, we haven't talked about Mr. Saturday Night, which is...
Are you involved in the Billy Crystal thing?
I've written the lyrics for it, yes.
Oh, how did I miss all this? Wow. So they're gearing that maybe for Broadway in what, 2023?
We're going to Barrington Stage in October. We'll be doing some public performances of the show, trying it out there in October.
So what is it like? I know you're working with him. He's probably a friend at this point. What is it like working with Billy Crystal, for gosh sakes?
I've been able to teach him so much about comedy, and I think that's been the most gratifying part. of this whole process for me. No, it's been, really cool and interesting. And I asked the brilliant Jason Robert Brown to come in and write with me. So writing with him has been incredible. And I'm in a room with a lot of funny Jews, and I am the Rosemary of the room. I'm the only one in the room. So
Dick Van Dyke reference, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yes, indeed.
Yes. So, you got to shout a little louder. You got to, make yourself heard. You got to,
But I'm sure, especially in the post Me Too woke era, they listen to a little more than they might have 25 years ago. Even though they would have respected then, you get a little bit more, well, maybe your dog does. Let's see the dog. Hold up the dog. Let's see this dog.
She's on her own schedule.
There she goes. All right. Well, what kind of dog is it, by the way?
She's just a little bit of a Jack Russell Terrier, mostly.
Terriers, yay.
Yeah, a little mix. Yeah.
I'm scared of German Shepherds because of the German part, but any other dog I pretty much love. So, wait, what the hell was we? We're talking about Billy Crystal.
Saturday night, yes.
It's the Saturday night. So I don't even know what that has to do with anything. But can you tell a Billy Crystal nice, happy anecdote or something we don't know about him that we'd be either surprised at or be like, oh yeah, of course he would do that?
Well, I could tell you a nice fact about him, and he's writing the book with his two cohorts, Babalu, Mandel, and Lowell Gans. So the three of them are writing the book, and I think the three of them combined have about 178 years of marriage, which the sweet thing is that they're all married to their first wives. They've all been married for, over God knows how many, 35, 40 years, so it's a very sweet, very.
I mean, they've all stooped around a ton during that time.
No, but, so I think that's a very sweet fact.
Yeah. Are you, by the way, I don't know your person. Are you married, children? I know you have a daughter.
I am married. I've been married for about 23 years to a fantastic man. I am the mother of two stepdaughters who are fantastic. Stepkids.
Now, did either of your stepdaughters ever come to you and say, Mommy, I want to go into the showbiz? And you said, oh, hell no.
My stepkids they're now in their 20s, so they are grown. And they, neither of them are interested in show business as a career. But they were weaned on Sweeney Todd. They drew,
that's a hell of a show.
They loved it. And my elder stepdaughter would draw these crayon drawings, and she knew so much about the show, more than I did, which I didn't think was possible. And she also had an imaginary friend for a while, and the two of them put on a production of Sweeney Todd. That was really something.
Wow. I mean, I thought I raised 8 of my children on James Joyce's The Dead, the musical. And I thought that was pretty out there, but oh my goodness. And you remember that was a James Lapine music. It was pretty good, actually. So we're talking with Amanda Green, ladies and gentlemen. Have a bit more time with her to talk about her life, her career. Is your husband an entertainment kind of person, or is he totally...
He's an orthopedic surgeon.
Oh, no wonder you can do what you do.
I've hit the Jewish trifecta, absolutely.
Yes. Jewish doctor, orthopedic. No, wait, is that foots? Is that what?
No, it's everything from the neck down. It's your back, your shoulder, your ankles, your knees, yeah.
So if I show you my prostate, do you think you could? No, just.
I'm glad you got a laugh.
Bring him to the screen. It'll save me tons of. All the doctors are doing virtual visits. I figure I can just pull and then save us a lot of time here. Anywho, well, maybe not. What family mementos do you have that you've kept that are the most meaningful to you from the years that your mama and papa spent in the showbiz?
Wow. Well, I literally just in the past, I hate using the word literally, but in the past year and month or so, I emptied their apartment of all of its possessions, and they lived there for 60 years. So there were many, many mementos. One of the most prized ones is has to be their piano. So I have their piano, and then I just love old playbills and photos of them. When they were very, very young, are very dear to me. And some letters. So yeah, I have some.
And is there a part of a trove that she'll give to a university, or maybe to the Broadway flea market, or what?
Yes.
What do you?
I've already given some stuff. If you go to the Broadway flea market, you will find some items there, a bunch of them. And we had an auction, and yes, I'm putting together a collection to give to an institution.
Now, do you? I think it's going to be Sweeney Todd at this point, but do you have a favorite all-time Broadway musical or off-Broadway that isn't your own?
Oh gosh, so many. Yes, so many. I mean, yes, of course, Sweeney Todd, of course, and a lot of Sondheim. On the Town is one of my favorites. On the 20th Century is one of my favorites, my dad's.
Right, yeah.
And gosh, I mean, Hamilton, gotta give it up for Hamilton. What a glorious show. And yeah, many more.
Well, speaking of Hamilton, we have to ask, Gaga, you worked with Lin-Manuel Miranda on the cheerleader musical Bring It On. So, any happy, delightful, wonderful Lin-Manuel Miranda stories that you can tell?
He's a happy, delightful person. So we had many happy, delightful stories and fun. He would occasionally call me green sauce, and he would, we'd work on things together. And if I came up with a good line, he'd be like, "You're very good at your job." So we had a lot of fun. We really did.
What happens? Can I ask you? This was before Hamilton. Was this even before?
It was after In the Heights.
It was after In the Heights. So, what happens when there's sort of an unequal level of two people working on a show? When it's sort of like a quote unquote a green writer, if you will, and then someone who's been like Sondheim being paired with early in his career, either a Richard Rodgers, well, it wasn't that early, but or with who was he writing with on with Bernstein or something like. In other words, what happens when the dynamic is not equals as it would be in like a BMI thing where everybody's sort of on the same? But you got one person who's had this level of experience and success.
Well, I mean, he was more successful, but we both had, he and Tom and I think Tom had won a Pulitzer Prize by that point. So we'd all done Broadway shows and written Broadway shows and had them put on Broadway. So yes, he was more successful, but it wasn't that if you are all agreeing to write a show together, there was no like, well, you better listen to me because I know what I'm talking about. There's none of that.
But what happens, I'm not talking about on the whole, I'm saying like when you have a song and you're working on a lyric or music with a lyric, and now this person feels like, and you're like, yeah, how do you resolve that? Even if you are on the same level?
Oh, well, that's a very good, I mean, I think if you're collaborating with someone, and they feel strongly about something, you should listen to them because there's more than one way to skin a cat. So, the most successful people in the world can be wrong. The least successful people in the world can be right, and vice versa, So I've rarely come into a knockdown, drag out fight with another collaborator of like, no, this is the way it should go. No, that's the way it should go. Because usually one of you will go with the other person and see where it takes you. Because there's often not like one absolute right or wrong.
Now, let me also ask you mentioned female troubles, as most women would, but we also talked about having all these different irons in the fire. You must be working on one or two other projects, which might be...
I can't talk about them yet, but I am working on a couple of other projects.
And you can't say what, it's always bad luck. You don't
Early days. It's early days.
Are they with people you met at BMI, or who are they with that you're am I working with? Or?
Don't think neither of them are with people I met at BMI.
Okay.
Other people.
You can't stum. All right.
It's a little early. Sorry.
Now, also one of the things I was going to link this with asking about your father's eccentricity, but speaking of eccentric people, besides me, also, you were brought in to work on additional material for when TV did Peter Pan Live. We'll get to Kiss Me Kate. Peter Pan Live.
Yes.
There's got to be some stories about Christopher Walken when he was playing Captain Hook. I mean, that was an interesting evening. Tell me a Christopher Walken story.
Oh boy. let's see. How can I put this not nicely? No, I mean, he's, no, I always said this is a terrible joke and it's not nice, but I'm going to say it anyway. He was wonderful sometimes, and he would do this. I wrote this new number for him with using existing Julie Stein music that he wrote. It was a song called Ambition, and I turned it into Vengeance. And it was a really fun song, and he would do it, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so good. And then he'd do some rehearsals, and he was really flat, and I was like, oh, but on the day in front of the cameras, and so I like to say I thought he would be lightning in a bottle, but he turned out to just be the bottle. But I never saw him drink, so I'm not casting aspersions. Never saw him drink or do anything, but it just was like, I was like, what happened? What happened?
Well, I read a little bit. They say it was an acting choice. I mean, he was deliberately underplaying him because he probably figured television cameras right here. I don't know. I don't know, but
it was certainly less alive than it had been at other times.
So you saw at moments that when he brought it, he really could bring it.
When he brought it, I was like, oh, this is going to be so good.
So you did add material to Peter Pan, and you added, now we can bring in Kiss Me, Kate. Did you even balk for a moment and say, yeah, Cole Porter did this, and what was it, Bella Spiewak and whoever wrote the Kiss Me, Kate book and stuff, and yeah, William Shakespeare did sort of the original on this, but we have to gussy it up? Or did you be like, oh, assignment, and it's a big Broadway thing, let me do it?
At the latter, yes. And again, I love Scott Ellis. I mean, Kelly O'Hara, I just think is a genius, and Will Chase was the lead in High Fidelity, my first musical, and the chance to be the Broadway, the Roundabout. It was all it was daunting, but I was excited by the assignment.
And was it specifically because the original material 50s, 60s was I would want to say proto-feminist, it wasn't feminist, but what were you brought in to really deal with? Was it just the fact of his abuse, quote unquote, of Kate, or what?
There were several things. I mean, the dialogue what was sexist. There is some dialogue in it that it just wouldn't fly. That doesn't fly these days. And there were a bunch of and the fight with him paddling her on the behind and teaching her a lesson. It was all unsavory. And what it did was just take away from the delight of the show, which is a truly delightful show. And what it really is about is two strong egos battling in a battle royale. And it's not about the subjugation of a woman, because they're both really strong, really egotistical. So that all of that other stuff was like, it was marring the enjoyment of a fantastic show. So that's what I sort of, and Kelly O'Hara was also very smart about, like, even in the doling out of Shakespeare, like Petruchio got all the lines and all she got to do was shriek and pull her hair. So we gave her more Shakespeare to say, so she could be a woman of wit as Kate is. And then the fight, was choreographed fantastically so that it was a battle royale rather than a man putting a woman in her place and spanking her as she ought to be spanked to teach her to.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So and taking some of the language out of his mouth that would make you go, ew, why would she want to be with him? And giving it doesn't mean that you have to be nice to her. It would just be like, make fun of her ego and not make fun of her fetida. And when he was leaving, he leaves and she's leaving. She leaves. And instead, in the old version, he would say, like, I thought there was a softening about you. I thought you had really understood how to be a woman. It was sort of like, ew. It was more like, I'm sorry. So like,
I know, I get the wanting to do that for modern audiences. At the same time, and like in Showboat years ago, when there was that discussion of taking, an Old Man River to take the N word and turn that into something else, or when they did, but at the same time, there's a critic that I know who went absolutely apoplectic as to what they did with Porgy and Bess, when they gave Porgy and Bess to a black playwright and said, take this and rewrite this and rewrite. It's like, no, it's Porgy and friggin' Bess. This is what the Gershwins did back then, and DuBose Hayward, and you know, it was for its time, and you look at it with modern eyes, and the things that make you go, ooh, you think about, it's like, okay, ooh, but here it is.
But you know, I mean, a show is a living, breathing thing. It's not a museum. You can do that if you want to.
Tell that to Samuel Beckett. You know,
if you want it to be a museum piece, you can do that. And certainly, and also we worked with the estates because and they would say like, no, you've gone too far. No, we like that. You know, so they should be they are the final arbiters of what you can and can't mess with. But it was also written by a woman too. You know, Bella Spiewak, who I don't know her, but Dollars to Donuts. She would not want her show, you know, a woman to be, you know, in the 50s. It was completely, you know, I wrote things in the 2000s I would never write today, you know, and I would go back and revise my scripts and do that. So I think you have to, if you want people to enjoy the show and not be taken aback by things that stand in the way of what you're really going after, that's what I think it's fine to do. But I mean, that's my opinion. You don't have to.
Well, but what's interesting is that you've gone into classics and worked on those. You've also adapted material from extant things. You took, High Fidelity was a book and a movie, and then I'm kind of curious, you've also, and this is pretty rare these days, like this female troubles thing you're working on now, that's an idea that you spitballed that isn't from some other source. It isn't another fucking Hollywood movie that they're turning into, you know what I'm saying. It's like, do you have a preference, or do you think that we've just gotten overloaded with, and Mrs. Doubtfire may be wonderful, but you know what I'm saying. Are there just too many of this?
I don't, too many, I don't know. I mean, personally, it's, there's challenges and great things about each thing. It's fun writing an original thing because you can just make shit up, and it's fun to be able to dream things and go, I always want to say this or write a song about that or have a character that does this, and you have the freedom to do that. So that's wonderful. I mean, musicals are more popular than they were 30 years ago, certainly, so there are so many people and so many musicals. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, speaking of music, for the last question for the delightful and absolutely talented and so much fun Amanda Green, you mentioned that there's a couple of songs from Female Troubles that you're going to be doing at Birdland on Monday night, October 4th, when people can go see you 7 o'clock, but bring your Vax card and your inhalation masks and whatever else you need. But what other songs, a couple of songs are you going to be doing from other shows of yours? Are you doing any of your parents' songs? What?
I am doing, as I said, a couple of songs from this, none of my parents' songs. I am doing a song that we cut from Mr. Saturday Night, because that's where do cut songs go? They go into your cabaret act. A couple of songs from High Fidelity, a song from Hands on a Hard Body, a couple of songs that I wrote, early songs with Curtis Moore from one of the first shows we wrote together. So a real like hodgepodge of stuff. And with great singers, great,
don't you have special guests or something?
Yeah, Anne Harada, who was
just our friend, she's been on this program, yay!
Oh, good, and Avenue Q, and then Darius DeHaas, who's just a sublime singer. Dan Finnerty of the Dan Band, who's one of the funniest people I know. Leslie Margarita, who is heaven. She's on TV and she started Matilda, and she's just absolute heaven. And who am I forgetting? Natalie Douglas, who's won 12 Mac Awards. That's a lot of Mac Awards. She's fantastic. So a really great crew. So
everybody can see this crew and you, Amanda Green. It's going to be happening. We'll remind people one more time. Birdland, 315 West 44th Street. It's just off 8th Avenue in Manhattan. Monday night, October 4th. Be on the lookout in several months, probably, for Mr. Saturday Night, and probably several months after that for Female Troubles. And then be on the lookout for Title TBA, which has Amanda Green attached to it on some basic level. And of course, if you have money to throw at shows, contact her immediately.
Constantly.
My last question for you, Amanda. What is your Hebrew name?
Hi.
That's a hell of an appropriate.
I have no idea what my Hebrew name
Really?
is.
Were you bat mitzvah? Did they do that for
I
you?
was not bat mitzvahed, no.
All right, there's still time. Call me. We'll do it in my yard. It's fine. It's
Okay.
simple thing. We have a back.
I know it's not Christina. How's that?
There you go. There
Okay.
you go. Amanda Green, much success, much
you so
thanks, and shalom to you.
Shalom to you. Okay, bye.
Bye now. Amanda Green in the Daverhood, ladies and gentlemen. On this episode of the Dave's Gone By program, let's hear a little more of Amanda Green singing just the way you will hear her when she's at Birdland. You know, some people would love to be on Broadway. Some people would love to be in the movies. People would like to be in Hawaii. But ladies and gentlemen, as Amanda Green sings, this is Rabbi Sal Solomon, I'd Rather Be With You.
Say, Amanda, I'm surprised to see you here, back where you began so long ago. We thought you'd have moved on, we thought you'd be long gone, and much too much important to put on this little show. I know, but the winds of fortune blew me here today, and it's like my great Aunt Libby back in Cleveland used to say, I'd rather be with you than with the finest people. I'd rather be with you than people I enjoy. I'd rather be with you than somewhere more important, with people I like better, with more influence and money. What a blessing to have friends all gathered round, no matter who. I'm so grateful to be here, to kill an hour and fill an hour with you.
A song there from Amanda Green, our new friend of the Daverhood, here in the Daverhood on this Saturday morning, September 25th, 2022. I would rather be with these people, well, two of the three people, than anybody else in the world right now. One of them needs to unmute. Her name is Vicki Quade. And you can see her, you can spend some time with her in the theater because she is back doing late night catechism in Chicago. Is that, now I'll get this right, is that the Greenhouse, right?
It is, but David, you said 2022. Have we time traveled? Did something happen to me? I'm sorry. Has it been a year?
Was just talking about
where have I been?
We want it to be a year from now.
Yeah, it's been such a miserable year in so many ways.
That's right.
My head's 20. It's 20. Oh, I should have it written so I can just read it. We're calling this show Green Day because we just had Amanda Green, the composer, the lyricist, in the Daverhood. But now we have Vicki Quade, the co-creator of Late Night Catechism, and also coming up now. You know, I've been pushing this for weeks now. Now we can say starting like next week.
Next weekend.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, with Vicki Quade. Vicki, how was your week? How you doing?
Oh, good. In fact, today I'm going to be out at Navy Pier. The Navy Pier people in Chicago have put together a wonderful 2-day event called Chicago Live Again. And I'm going to be dressed as the nun from Late Night Catechism. So I've got my habit all ready to put on when we're done here. And I'll be wandering around saying things to people like, when's the last time you went to Mass? Oh no, I mean, when's the last time you went to theater?
Oh,
that's cute.
So, just getting people involved, passing out information, maybe for 2 hours, then I'll come home. Yeah,
no, that's the thing to do right now. And so have your audiences been building now? We talked about this about a week ago. Have you?
Our audience yesterday was 50% of the house instead of
25.
a third. Well, it's been about a third of a house. So now it's up to 50%. So it's like, okay, let's just keep getting this going. So yeah.
And how
but
is,
it is,
yeah.
you stir, as you guys know, you just have to stir the pot everywhere, just trying to get people to understand that you're open, it's safe, it's fun, come out, try it.
Well, we have also, we're coming out here with David Sheward.
Good morning.
Our longtime friend of the neighborhood. Good morning to you, David. How was your week?
All right. It was the first full week of school, and it was fine.
Has anybody been quarantined yet? because I work in a school district, and every day you get a letter from the superintendent, like, one student in this building tested positive, and anybody who was near him is quarantined, and then they don't mention names. They just, for FERPA rules. But yeah.
I don't think I should talk about that, really.
Okay, no problem. No, but you're healthy, and no kid died during one of your classes yet, so that hasn't happened yet. It could, probably will. Just a matter of percentages. But you're feeling okay. Did you go to the theater this week? Did you do anything interesting or?
Yes. Let me see. Well, last night I went to Sanctuary City at the Lucille Lortel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is a play that is being done by New York Theater Workshop. So that was an interesting experience. It went very smoothly. They had 2 lines, one for people who had their vaccination on an app, and another for people who were just showing their cards. And I was worried about, there would be a big crowd, and it would be difficult, but it went very smoothly.
And I don't know if the show has opened yet. Can you talk about it?
Oh, yes, it opened. I have to write my review. It's an interesting play. It's a play that Margaret Marchek, I think her name is, the Pulitzer Prize.
M-A-J-O-K. I don't know how to pronounce it, right? Yeah.
Marchek. She wrote a play called Cost of Living, which won the Pulitzer Prize a few years ago. And this is a play that was supposed to be done just before the pandemic, and they did a couple of previews, and then they had to shut it down. And it's a play about 2 young people who are sort of caught. It takes place in 2001 to 2005, and it deals with, it's 2 young people who are undocumented, and it deals with what they have to go through, both of them, to stay in the country.
I think plays about undocumented people should use the alienation effect.
Whoa, so Brechtian.
There you go.
You never saw that episode, of Peabody's Improbable History where they go to visit Bertolt Brecht.
And, no, I missed that one.
Really? And the leading lady gets sick, so Mr. Peabody has to go on his Mother Courage at the last minute.
And you know what? It took a while.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, you get it now. Oh.
Hey, David, how many people were in the audience? Was it half full?
It was pretty full. It was about, I'd say about 75%.
Great.
That's pretty normal for a Lucille Lortel theater show.
Yes,
anyway, yeah.
It's strange it's just strange to be in the city now. We're sort of in this transitional period where we're not quite all the way back, but coming back. It was very strange. The theater is in the Greenwich Village, and I had a drink with a friend beforehand, and it was
indoors or outdoors?
Well, we started outdoors and then we went indoors.
Really? Okay.
Well, it was this bar on 11th Street, and they had their outdoor thing, and we were sitting down there. I said, well, let's go inside. It's a little noisy out here. So we went inside and I had a soda, and it was just very strange. The customers were seated there. They were drinking, so they weren't wearing masks. And but then we went outside, and there were a lot of young people walking around doing their thing. There were 2 bands of musicians strolling through the streets, playing instruments. There was a guy, when I went home on the subway, there was an older guy singing Sinatra songs in the subway.
Yeah. You mean on the platform or just going
on the platform? On the platform. He had his hat out and was singing and was wanting money. He wasn't a crazy person.
He was a crazy person.
He wasn't. He was not.
Yeah. No, because it's
as far as I know, he wasn't acting crazy. It was just a very strange. It was just we would say, this is how things used to be 2 or 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, and now we're getting back to it.
Yeah.
Because I've been
today. I'm thinking of going.
Yeah. Going to. Go
ahead. I was just going to say later today, I'm contemplating going to a comic book show at the New Yorker Hotel. It's one of the things I like to do, and I haven't been to one in many years, so I think I might go to that.
Just keep your mask on the whole.
With my mask on, of course.
Yeah. No, because I've been invited. I'm sure you have to Lackawanna Blues, and I really want to see. But I don't know if I'm ready, mentally to say. If I weren't married to someone who's more worried about all this stuff than I am, maybe I would.
Well, I'm going on Thursday to that show.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know how it is. I mean, how the experience is. It's interesting to see how will that affect the box office.
Well, yeah,
How
with
will-
everything. Yeah.
Will people feel safe, and will they be coming back? So
How are the numbers in New York? I mean, are they up?
well, it's interesting. They can't. They've agreed, the league, the Broadway league, is not reporting box office numbers for this season.
I mean, you can always tell. Both David and I worked in journalism. He was at Backstage. I worked at Playbill.com. And half the thing was, and Michael Riegel taught me this, it's like follow the money. Just follow the money. And it's like you look at the grosses, and you can tell if something's dropped below a certain thing, producers are hovering over that theater, and then they're going to be in trouble or else. But when in this current thing, they don't publish. I guess they always did it voluntarily. So we really don't know
there's
if
no law.
Rouge is capacity or 90% or 60% or.
I forgot. And the Tony Awards are on tomorrow.
Right. Yes. Are you going to be press on? I'm actually going to go with Rabbi Saul to the press. And was going to see if we can ask a question of somebody. That'd be interesting.
Is it a virtual press room or is it a real press room?
There's no red carpet. There's no nothing. It's all just virtual.
Oh.
Speaking of virtual, we have a guest who is virtually here for just the right amount of time to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us in the Daverhood, she's made it. Wait, she hasn't made it yet. She can probably hear us, but we can't see or hear her yet. She's connecting to audio.
My heart is beating.
Yeah.
Leslie, yes.
Hooray! She made it. Yay, Leslie. Hello. Yes. It's only 12 minutes late. You're getting good.
I'm on my phone. I cannot get my.
So just do your phone every week, Leslie. Your phone tends to work. Seriously, just do the bloody phone. Take a flip phone.
Sorry. David, do I sense a bit of? Do I sense that you're slightly mad at me here?
No. But it's just we kind of know whenever we start, it's going to be a certain period of time. You're the Jewish 10-15.
I have to tell you that when I finished radiation, my big thing was somehow I have to change. So what am I changing? I'm not late, except for this because this involves a machine. It's like even the other things when it involves a taxi. If it's just me, I can do it. Any outside thing is hello. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Then start earlier.
You don't know how early I started.
Oh,
that's the problem.
Start even earlier.
This is a lovely therapy session, but it's not really the point of this. I am here. I am sorry.
No, you're sideways now.
Now you're sideways. There you go.
I just wanted to get a better. I didn't like to cut on the other side. Okay.
So let me explain the rules because we were actually yapping about COVID and yapping about the theater. But let's get to the quiz. The quiz is the today, yesterday quiz. Is a trivia game. Every question is worth 2 points per contestant. If the contestant gets it wrong, there's no penalty, but another contestant gets to try and steal that question. But you're actually on time, Leslie, even enough to have a shot at a number you might want. But first, it goes to Vicki, because Vicki is still our least most usual guest. Vicki, could you pick a number from 1 to 6, please?
Ooh, 6.
Vicki gets the 6. Oh, Leslie takes that usually.
Oh, I'm sorry, Leslie. I can pick a number.
No.
I have an alternate. I'm more than happy to share that number. Is that your set, Vicki? Set behind you?
Yes, that is a photo of my set.
I recognized it from seeing the show. Okay.
So, but Leslie, you do ladies second. So Leslie, you get to pick a number.
Ladies second, I love it.
Pick your nose and then pick the number. Here we go. What is
I will take 2 since Vicki took 6.
So Leslie with the number 2, which is kind of disgusting, and then David, I gotta make that joke.
David, so you can have a joke, so you wouldn't be so mad.
I will pick lucky number 3.
David with 3. Oh, this could get real interesting. We're going to roll a die. This is what we're doing here. We're going to roll a virtual die, not a pair of dice, and it came up automatically boxcar number 6. So, Vicki, would you like to go first, second, or third?
I'll go first.
Vicki going first. I'm going to roll the die again. Let's see what it comes up as. It came up actually number 3. So, David Sheward, would you like to go second or third?
I'll go second.
David Sheward second. Leslie Hoban.
Rolling a die. Just give me third. I've got it. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Oh.
So pretty.
Well, it's a bird. It's a plane?
Plane.
It's like a saucer thing.
Nope.
You know, we just
Cream.
had Amanda Green on the show, and she'll be playing at Birdland. So this
It's
is
a
perfect,
picture.
perfect timing right there at Birdland. So,
Did you say Amanda Pete?
no, Amanda Green.
Oh, lovely. Oh, my goodness. Is she
Yeah.
going to be at Birdland when?
October 4th, Monday night at 7 o'clock. Go see her if you're going out and seeing people. But yeah, she'll be doing
I
this.
actually have been to Birdland because it's not like a theater. It's tables and they're separated from each other. My only problem is I can't sit shoulder to shoulder. I'm immunocompromised. I can go out. I can't sit. There are specific things. I can sit at a table for two that's not near the next table for two.
I said, who did you see? Whom did you see
We
at
just
Birdland?
went the Tuesday night. They have a cheap show. I live around the corner from there. So Tuesday night they have a cheap show and they have a lot of different guests. And so we went just to be out basically because I'm not getting to go to theater or anything. And I don't recall. It was just somebody, Susie
Banshees.
Susie Parker.
Michigan or something. I don't
Susie
remember her.
Orman.
Dr. Sue. No, I don't remember her last name.
The Susie Orman musical.
There you go. Well, they're getting that one into shape. But ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It's time for our Today Yesterday quiz with Vicki Quade getting the very first question.
Right.
Okay, and it is a multiple choice. And in case you're watching this show for the first time, and if you are, where the hell have you been the past 19 and a
That's
half
right.
years?
All our lives.
But here's the deal. Almost every question is based on something that happened in history and Leslie has just collapsed.
No, I had to put my charger on or I would disappear from you. So
No. Make sure you're still with us. Uh-oh.
There you
Put the
go.
charger in.
Perfect. Lovely.
Vicki, on September 25th, 1828, something happened. It's a multiple choice here. Assassins try and fail to kill the president of Gran Colombia, Simón Bolívar. Which of these is true about Bolívar el Liberador? A, he survived tuberculosis only to die of pleurisy 6 months later. B, Bolívar survived the assassination attempt by sneaking out of the barracks dressed as a lieutenant. C, Karl Marx idealized Bolívar and once wrote that he was, quote, the ideal revolutionary leader. Or D, his parents died when he was young, so as an adolescent he was raised by the family slave.
Ooh.
One of these is true.
It is true.
One of
One
them
is.
Yeah.
Only one is true.
C.
I'm going to say he was raised by the family slave.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, not only was that right, that was a good slave, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know where to go with that joke, but Vicki, yes, you are absolutely correct. He really was. He was saved by the family, or raised by one. Bolívar did escape from being an assassination attempt by his girlfriend. She helped save him.
I thought you were trying to assassinate him the way you said that.
Yeah. Like,
No, one of his mistresses. He had tons of mistresses, but his long-term girlfriend helped him escape the assassination. He died of tuberculosis at age 47, so it wasn't pleurisy or anything like that. And Karl Marx hated Bolívar. He called him a traitor and called him, quote, a false liberator who merely sought to preserve the power of the old Creole nobility to which he belonged. Hence the whole slave thing. So well done, Vicki Quade, with 2 points. You are on the board.
I also, David, those were great questions. I love the pleurisy in particular. It was very Tennessee Williams. But I have to say that when you say, and he was raised by, I thought you were going to say wolves. I don't know why.
No. He was raised by a slave wolf.
Too obvious, too on the nose. Was that one okay?
All right, David, where are you? Now I'm seeing David's shirt. David, shirt, this next question goes to you.
Oh, everything I do, David has to do, really.
I was crushing an ant.
oh, all right. Let me do something. Here.
I saw an ant on my windowsill, so I was crushing it.
Yeah, no, we've been, oh my God, we have such an ant problem.
Ant.
Where do you guys live that you have ants?
Well, we're in Long Island.
David,
David,
Jackson Heights. It's just occasionally you get ants.
no,
I mean,
we
it
get the
gets
terrible.
I don't even get flies.
We get wasps here.
Oh, that's bad. I won't like. Where do you
There
get
are
them?
wasp nests in this neighborhood, and they'll get in. If there's a tiny little crack somewhere, they will find it and get in.
Yeah. And then they sip cocktails at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a waspy thing to do.
Yeah, they drink my alcohol.
This question goes to you, David Sheward. It is not a multiple choice. Ooh, tough one.
Okay, all
The
right.
year was 1907.
Uh-huh.
Debuting today by the Helsinki Philharmonic, the third symphony of this composer, who also wrote Finlandia, the Karelia Suite, and Valse Triste, and was credited with originating the phrase, "No one ever put up a statue for a critic." Name him.
Sibelius?
I say it again, I didn't hear.
Sibelius.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
I can't think of a joke. It's correct. It was in fact Jan Sibelius, or Jean Sibelius. He took sort of a Frenchy name.
Jan, but how did you come up with all that other information? That thing about the critic is true? He really said that?
Yeah, it's been credited to a lot of different people, but apparently he said it first.
Well, they have this thing now, Leslie. It's called the internet.
She only uses her phone. It's
where you just punch in a person's name and all these things pop out.
Wait, let me write this down, David. How do you spell that? I-N what? Go ahead.
It's the capital I.
Capital I, right? Small n, yes. Okay.
Internet, yes.
Lowercase, yes. Okay.
One of my favorite lines of all time from The Simpsons is Homer's learning computers, and he's like, "Press any key." Where's the any key? Well, I love
I
that.
don't remember that one.
I can. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Now, we do have a multiple choice question, though, for Leslie Hoban Blake. So
When you give me my question, do you know that they didn't call it 3 clues in the news, but they did those 3 questions together on Jeopardy last week.
Did they really?
Yeah, they didn't call it, it didn't have to be about the news. It happened to be about the news, but they did it. I've forgotten now what the question was, but they had a whole series of them. It was like, which 2 things are not like the other or something like that.
I'm thinking lawsuit. Thank you, Leslie.
Yes, I'm thinking you're doing the wrong thing with your life here.
Jeopardy has enough trouble these days.
Actually, how do you guys? I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes. Maya Bialik, I think, is great. I think
I think so.
She does a good job.
She would be a great.
I just watched to see how far this guy can go. I think he's amazing.
Oh,
he's like an automaton. They're going to turn him around and find a giant key in his back.
He's almost up to $1 million.
He's over $1 million.
Oh, really?
Wow.
What? Everything is what?
That's right.
He has a specific style. He never names the first name of somebody. If it's Billie Jean King, he says King.
Well,
which they accept, which
is smart because you can get into trouble if
you get the first name. You can get the first name wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. So he only goes for the last name, and he now plays across the board. If you watch it, he starts at the left. He takes the 2000.
That was a Ken Jennings move. Jennings.
Yeah, I noticed that he also goes to the most expensive question first.
Well, that's in fact the first guy I saw do that was Jim the gambler, whatever his name is, Jim something or other.
Oh, that other guy, that Mormon guy,
Jim Holthover, or whatever that is. Yeah, he started that go for the 2000, and I thought everybody would do that afterwards, and nobody has done it until this guy consistently. It's the only way to make a lot of money.
Yeah,
obviously, but he goes like a shark. He just goes left to right, and then he goes back across this way. He's looking for the daily double. Then he doesn't care. That's.
Oh, interesting.
It's a great technique.
It's also to build up your bank so that the others.
Exactly. Okay, I'm sorry. Enough about Jeopardy. Let's play trivia. We got our.
Let's play our. Yes, this is not Jeopardy. This is Today Yesterday, the trivia game on Dave's Gone By.
Right.
So
we're not playing Jeopardy. I don't want to play.
We have a question for you directly, Leslie. This is your question to end the first round of Today Yesterday.
My question to lose when everybody else has gotten them. Go ahead.
1930 was the year. Here we go. And it's a theater question. Well, for a moment anyway. Opening tonight at the Sam H. Harris Theater is Zoe Akins' comedy, The Greeks Had a Word for It. which actually runs for a few months on Broadway. Which of these is not true about Greece? A, yes.
Yeah, but I know stuff about Zoe Akins. I don't know anything about Greece. All right, go ahead.
How are you going to find? Well, you can cook in it. Well, hold on. I've got my wife coming in. Yes.
Can you do CPR?
Oh, Joyce just came in from working out, and with her trainer, because I happen to be doing a show here, but it's more important that she's with her trainer, pumping iron, and she's basically collapsing. How are you feeling, dear?
Joyce has a trainer coming to the house?
No, it's virtual. She's got her
I was going to say, okay, all right.
Because I had to give him my iPhone when I don't have an iPhone. We'll use WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah, she does it via.
Somebody wrote. So I posted the link to Amanda's Birdland show, and then somebody wrote. Stephen McCain said, "What a wonderful episode! I love the game show."
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you, Stephen McCain. Stephen,
Wow, nice.
he's a pretty important guy in a certain television show. I won't give it away.
I'm gonna write and say, "Please play along."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Whoever it is, get him to come on as a guest contestant.
Yeah.
Sometime.
I really actually, I've never asked him. So, Stephen, yes, let's get you on in the next couple of weeks. I would love that. Anyway, 1930 was the year, Leslie Hoban Blake.
Yes, we're going to Greece. I'm going to Greece.
Oh, right, here we go. Greece. Which of these is not true about Greece? A, the Greek national animal is a dolphin. B, the Greek national anthem is Hymn to Liberty. C, the Greek national tree is the cypress. Or D, Greece does not have a national fruit.
He's on vacation a lot of the times.
Oh, Mr. P.
Thank you for making the homophobic joke so I didn't have to. Thank you, David. That's
This is not a heteronormative show.
Absolutely no. Hell no.
All right, just give me the answers again, because there's the tree, the song.
Right. I'll read them again. Not true. Which of these is not true? The Greek national anthem is a national animal is a dolphin. That'd be quite national anthem. Oh!
Confuse me. That's just what I need this morning.
The Greek national anthem is Hymn to Liberty, and the Greek national tree is the cypress. Or D, Greece does not have a national fruit.
All right. I want to do the out loud thinking, but I'm afraid I'm going to give too much away if I do that. Not that I know that much. I know that Greece and Cyprus split, so I can't imagine that Greece would still contain the cypress tree as its favorite tree. I would think it would be the olive tree or something like that, because I don't think that if you're a good Greek, you'd want to say the word cypress every time you passed a tree. So that would not.
The tree is
that just doesn't work for me. All right, they took the cypress. The Cypriots left and took all their trees with them. I'm making this up. I have no idea. Hymn to Liberty, I don't know. I think the dolphin is true because Sophia Loren made a movie called Boy on a Dolphin in Greece. So I'm going to assume that was because the dolphin is the national bird. Yes, that's what I was thinking. I have no idea, guys. And as far as fruit, is an olive a fruit? No, an olive is not a fruit. And I think figs come from Greece. They do.
Yeah.
Kalamat, there's a word for a specific kind of fig that comes from Greece. So I'm totally confused. So I'm just going to go A, B, C, D and go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What was the name of that hymn again?
Okay, here we go. A, the Greek national animal is a dolphin. B, the Greek national anthem is Hymn to Liberty. C, the Greek national tree is the cypress. Or D, Greece does not have a national fruit. Okay, one of these is not true.
The false one, yeah, you just go for false.
I'll say the hymn, the anthem. I have no idea what it's called.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's a very confusing question for me. I wonder that any of you could do any better with this one. I truly don't know anything about Greece.
Oh, say, can you see just how wrong you can be? I'm very sorry.
All night working on that, getting the key right and everything.
Well, that's what I have this for. My. Oh, yay! Flipper.
That's your dolphin. That's your dolphin saying hello.
I always kind of wish Flipper was a show about a kid with no arms. But here we go. Let's do. Let's roll the die.
Uh-oh, David's wearing his lucky shirt.
I know.
Uh-oh.
I've almost bought that shirt one time. We come up with a number 4, which is closest to David Sheward. So
Okay.
David Sheward, you can try and steal this question.
All right. So the remaining ones are which is true, right?
Which of these is false? Which of these is false about? Well, bye, Leslie. Which of these is, or Leslie's face? Here we go. A, the Greek national animal. Sorry, is the dolphin. B, well, we did the anthem.
Okay,
C,
so the anthem is true.
The anthem is true.
The anthem is true because that's what Leslie said. She
Right.
guessed.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not dealing with that. C, the Greek national tree is the cypress.
Okay.
Or D, Greece. She's back. Greece does not have a national tree.
So that would be
national fruit.
Fruit. God.
So if that were false, Greece would have a national fruit.
Right.
All right. I think it's not D because the first question was the correct answer was D. So I'm pretty sure the correct answer was D. So that leaves A or B, and so either I think.
Well, B we struck away B.
So it's A or C. So it's in my view. So it's either that the dolphin is not the national animal, or that the cypress. You said the cypress is
is that true? Is the cypress a national tree?
Excuse me, who gave D as an answer? I was the only one who went with that question.
No, before that, I'm saying the other question about what was the first question?
Oh, I see I'm sorry, David. You're using an algorithm. You're using an algorithm. I see. Of some kind. Okay.
This is the most confusing question in the history of the show. I mean, what happened in this question?
It is 2022, isn't it?
God.
What was Vicki's question about? I've forgotten.
I think Amanda just wrote a music.
But I know that she chose D.
True or false? Simone Bolivar is a national liberator of Greece.
Oh, okay. It's about being raised by a slave.
Oh, he's raised by apes. Yes.
By a slave, Aunt Jemima Bolivar.
What?
She was Aunt Jemima Bolivar. She was cooking him some flapjacks.
Oh, no.
I didn't do the accent.
Territory, please.
David, answer the question.
I didn't do the accent. Anyway.
No, don't do the
offensive accent.
No, please don't.
All right.
Leslie got all head up last week when I was trying to do Aunt Jemima. It was like,
only on round one.
No.
Okay.
Stop, right, everybody. David, answer the question.
I think the dolphin is the national anthem.
The dolphin is a national anthem. Quack, 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 quack.
Oh, Jay, can you see it? By the dawn's early light.
That's a dolphin's talk.
I'll say the cypress. Okay, I will say the cypress tree is not the national tree.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Actually, comes to think of it, it's interesting that our previous question was about Finland, since that's where a dolphin would have, because there's a
okay.
But anywho,
stretch.
Yes. This I got. Leslie, you had it, and you let it go. You were specifically talking about Greece and Cypriots and
okay, yeah, well, it seemed too outrageous that they would uproot all the cypress trees. So I thought, okay.
But
yes, the Greek tree, as you said, Leslie, is the olive tree.
Yes.
So that is the official tree. Well done, David.
When I was in Athens, there were olive trees everywhere. There were olives on the ground. You could pick them up.
I mean, I know that from watching travelogues.
They were like everywhere.
I don't know. I don't trust my own instincts sometimes.
Yeah, and I know, David, when you were in Athens, you turned to your husband and you said, "I'll live you." I'm sorry. We're going on to the second round. Come on, it was a sweet one. It wasn't that. It was G-rated. It was sweet. It was cute. It wasn't funny, but it was. All right, here we go.
No, you're right. It wasn't, but it was cute.
Tell Leslie to go with her first instinct.
Yeah,
I only had one student whose first instinct was wrong. Most of the time, the instincts are right.
Thank you, Joyce. I know this for a fact, and I will do that. Thank you.
Well, by the way, instinctually or not, here's the game so far. David Sheward.
I don't want to know. La, 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 la.
Vicki not far behind with 2 points. Leslie haven't any points on the board yet, but it's only the end of round 4. Yes, big 4 for David Sheward.
Dun, dun, dun.
Don't, but hey, it's still anybody's game. The game is today, yesterday, here on Dave's Gone By. We come into round 2 of questions, and this, speaking of our Jeopardy thing, is called 3 Clues in the News, and it goes to Vicki Quade. Oh, we're back to Birdland. There.
Three geese in the news, 3 goose in the news. Oh, 3 goose in the news. Okay.
Here we go. Vicki, this question is for you. So these are going to be let me explain to people watching at home. These are 3 words that are not related to each other. Each of these 3 words is related to the word that we are looking for. So it could be blank word or word blank, or just sort of a synonym thing. For example, if I give the words sweet, couch, vegetable, it's potato. Sweet potato, couch potato, potato's a vegetable. Okay, here we go. And the word that we're looking for has something not necessarily directly to do with what's going on in the news. Okay, here we go. List dirty Chinese.
What's the second word?
List dirty
Oh, dirty.
Chinese.
Ooh. List
Sucio,
dirty
sucio.
Chinese. Dirty list.
Mhm.
List dirty. Something in the news.
That's clever.
Thank you.
That's a clever one. This is a clever one.
All right. List.
I think David has it from the way his
Dirty.
face is
Yeah.
or maybe
Yes,
not.
an exciting, dirty and Chinese.
Leslie has it.
Do you have it, Leslie? I hope
Maybe.
you get it then.
Yeah, no, it's Vicky's question though.
No, I know. List dirty. Rice. I don't.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I live on Long Island, and even though Kathleen Rice has been in the news a little bit, as it is not. I'm afraid not.
Stephen got it.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, because Joyce Haggett. I'm going to roll
Dirty rice,
Somebody-
Chinese rice, but not
Yeah.
list.
Well, we just came up with a number 6, which is Vicky's number, but which is closest to David Sheward. So, David, you seem to be smugly smiling. So, list dirty Chinese.
Laundry.
Oh, you're right. You're so
Final
good.
answer?
David.
You are just laundry piling on the points, David Sheward. That is the correct answer for Brian Laundrie, the missing, possibly dead,
Yeah.
possible murderer of cute little Long Island.
Oh, that's his name, Laundry?
Yeah, not
Yeah,
only
I-
that, I thought it was about Governor Newsom still going to that restaurant called.
Oh, I love
Wasn't that
Leslie's
called-
clapping. Is that her clapping? I love it.
World's tiniest symbol. There we
I
go.
love it.
So, but well done, David Sheward. You have 6 points now. That is really, really good. So yeah, no, he's been, his family probably squirreled him away to Canada or wherever the heck he is. And
I
Oh.
love this clapping. This is excellent. I got to use this in life.
well, I already have the clap, so don't even. So we're
Oh.
in round 2, ladies and gentlemen. No, I don't. But here's the deal, David. You can almost put this game away because this next question goes directly to you.
Okay.
If you get 2 points, you'll have 8 points. Doesn't
Okay.
mean the game's over, but here we
I'm
go.
ready.
This is like David of old. Joyce gave you advice last week. You took it, and now it's like you're like Pac-Man.
What was the advice that Joyce gave him last week?
Don't overthink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she told me to go with my first instinct. Okay, very good thinking, Joyce. Good coaching from the sidelines. Thank you.
Now here's
You got
a
this.
multiple choice for you, David.
Okay. All right.
The year was 1962.
Okay.
Opening today, the Pasadena Art Museum hosts an exhibition that is the first real survey of American pop art.
Oh.
What was the exhibition's title?
Oh.
A. Propaganda art. B. New painting of common objects. C. Patterns in the world. D. Artists of today.
Oh. Well, it could be anything. All right, so I don't think it's D because we already had an answer for D. And the previous answer, was it C? Yes, it was C. So D and C have been used up already. So the A and B are propaganda art, and what's B?
New painting of common objects.
New painting of common objects.
Is that your
Yes.
final answer?
Yes.
I gotta start overthinking David Sheward. Yeah, you got 2 points there. Well done, David Sheward.
Was that C?
That
It was
was
D.
B.
B.
Yep. Okay, you're keeping.
I gave a
I'm
C.
counting the
Oh,
cards.
next week. Yeah.
Steven said C, so I gave him a crying face.
Yeah, no, it was not Patterns in the World. It was, in fact, New Painting of Common Objects was the name of this 1962 exhibit that, and that brought to the fore all these important pop artists.
Like who?
I think it was Warhol. I'm not sure if Roche or
Lichtenstein was part of that.
Roy Lichtenstein.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Dotty.
Jasper Johns.
It's too dotty for me. Too
Oh.
dotty and splashy.
This is my imitation of one of the paintings.
That's pop eye, not pop art, David.
How
The
common
words are
an
coming-
object?
the
How
words are
common an
coming out of my
object
mouth.
Are you, David?
Well, that's
Word-
Roy Lichtenstein right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Wow.
By the way, I can do it with this too. I found this on the street. I wanted to take a little. I love finding objects and picking them up, even during the pandemic. Isn't this fabulous? And I see the word. The beautiful thing is, literally on the street, on Long Island, means nothing, and yet
It's probably somebody's
Jewish.
It's
of
probably,
all words, yeah.
it's probably somebody's homework or something, and they just tore it up.
Right.
The
The
dog
wolf
was eating it, and that's what was left.
Yeah.
Edmund something prize winner, something half, and then Jewish. I love it. I love
You
it.
know
It's
what
just,
it is? I bet you the person failed and they didn't want to show their parents.
Oh.
So they somehow destroyed the evidence so the parents couldn't see their production. Or
I
lack
wonder.
of production.
Yeah. Anywho,
Yeah.
something for the archives.
You can tell Vicki in her show, I once got in Catholic school they would pin notes to you.
Mhm.
And so they pinned a prayer card to me and they pinned a note and I went to McDonald's with my grandmother and I threw away the note.
Why? Was it
Because
that?
it was probably a bad note. I just kept the prayer card pinned to me.
Wow. And it was a tough school. They actually pinned it directly to her
Yes,
skin.
it's
It
my
was
friend.
horrible.
Extra days in purgatory. Sorry.
Hey,
That's why I work on the show.
Yeah.
thank you. My
Yeah.
wife, ladies and gentlemen.
That's true.
An occasion for sin.
She's already there. Okay.
Leslie Hoban Blake, you don't have any points, but
No, and I don't have any hope either. So
I think because Leslie, she's dressed so. Aren't you warm? She's dressed.
Yeah,
warm,
come to
so
think of it.
She looks warm.
how do you
This
you're
is
wearing?
just a shirt. This is not a jacket. It's just a shirt.
Okay,
Because
you wear a scarf and everything. I mean, it's
I
very.
like the scarf. It
bespoke.
goes with the colors of the shirt.
Lovely.
No, you look fabulous. I'm just saying.
You look wonderful, Leslie.
Okay.
We
Leslie.
never talk about my sartorial elegance or lack thereof.
No. It's not about. It's about comfort. It's not about the look. The look is gorgeous. It's,
I have my air
Beautiful.
conditioner up to full. I'm very comfortable. Thank you.
well, Leslie, I think you would look even better with 2 points. So let's see if you.
I would. He's right. Okay, go ahead.
And another theater thing. Sort of. Yeah, here we go. The year was 1965. Closing tonight, after 6 months at the 46th Street Theater, the Richard Rodgers, Arthur Lawrence, and Stephen Sondheim musical, Do I Hear a Waltz? According to GoodHousekeeping.com, which of these is not true about the history of the waltz? A. Some professional dancers objected to the waltz because they found it too simple and therefore demeaning to their art. B. When the waltz came to America, the most popular version was the Boston Waltz, a slower, simpler version of the European waltz. C. The German word for waltz, waltzen, means to wait. Or D. Despite her stuffy reputation, Queen Victoria loved waltzing.
I'm trying to use David's thing, but I don't even remember what the other letters were.
Is the question which of those is not true or is
Which
true?
is
False.
not
Which is
true.
false.
So 3 of them are true. 1 is
Which
false.
is false.
Okay, Victoria loved to waltz. Valsen means to wait. The Americans thought it was too complicated, and the dancers thought it wasn't complicated enough.
Nicely put, Leslie.
Perfecto.
Okay, Joyce, I'm going to go with my gut.
Well, later after the show, because that's disgusting.
Oh my Lord.
I gave it to him on a silver platter.
Absolutely.
I just here, David. Here's a terrible.
Don't hand me no straight lines.
I know. They're all Freudian slips. Once you get into that head trip, they're just
I've worn
there.
a Freudian slip, and it doesn't feel good under my pants. But
I
all
know.
right, yeah.
My Freudian slip is too tight. I know.
Wasn't that a play, The Girl in the Freudian Slip?
Yes.
But she was too young for that.
Oh,
Okay, sorry.
oh my operation.
Okay.
Oh.
You got this.
I'm going to say that the thing that's not true is that the German is Walsen for wait, because I believe that the German is just Waltz and not Walsen. Walsen would be a verb, I believe. I don't really know German, but Waltz is a noun. En implies that it's a conjugation of a verb. So I'm going to let it go with just the one about Walsen. C.
So the one about the meaning, the dictionary one.
Yeah, does that work with your theory about letters, David?
No.
No. Okay, there you go.
Final answer, though?
Yes, final answer. Might as well get a big fat 0 for the whole thing.
So you're saying valse is false, right? Yeah. Actually, Leslie, I don't know where the whole noun verb thing came, but you are absolutely correct. Walzen means to turn, not to wait in German. And all the other stuff was actually true about the waltz. But the most important thing is that, Leslie, you are on the board, tied with Vicki Quade with 2 points. I'm wondering if we could still, I think, have a tie game. Not among all 3 of you, but we still have an option of getting towards a tie, towards the tiebreaker.
The prizes are so exquisite. That
Oh, yeah.
It's that trip to Greece, David. I want that trip to Greece.
Here's
I'm trying
for the
for it.
prizes.
Oh,
You
it's like a
did more
pooping
stuff today.
cow.
Oh,
zebra.
it's a zebra. A zebra, if you
This
will.
is a zebra from South Africa.
Oh.
Then it's pronounced zebra.
Yep.
Did you actually go to South Africa, David?
Yes.
Wow.
I cry my
Nice.
country.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
And I actually bought this in a
After apartheid, David.
Was it
after apartheid. Yes.
Because we don't play Sun City.
Well, I play something.
I don't play Sun City.
It was after apartheid, and I actually bought this in a little store.
Aw, sweet.
So, Leslie, you have a fan. Steven says, "Yay, Leslie!"
Oh,
Yeah.
tell him he has to come on the show.
Tell him.
I like the cut of his jib. I like the way he thinks.
He's a cool guy and a very handsome fellow too, as a matter of fact, as
really?
well.
Oh, my
Married,
goodness.
kids, all that sort of thing, but still, but a cool dude, and he can certainly will have a lot to talk about in terms of his job if he's allowed to talk, because he still has
As
it.
a friend of mine would say, a girl can dream, can't she? You know, that's
There you go. Hey, we are into the 3rd round of our Today Yesterday quiz. By the way, it's just after 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time here in the Daverhood. You're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Leftowitz. It's our 817th episode of the show. We're calling it Green Day because we had Amanda Green on the program earlier.
Was great.
She was
How
wonderful.
interesting. Like
Yeah.
with her parents and like closing up the writing and also closing up their apartment or their house. That was
Yeah, no, I mean, this is what we do on the show. But right now, we have wonderful guests as well, including David Sheward, who writes for culturaldaily.com, theaterlife.com, and his blog, The David Desk. We have Vicki Quade, who is appearing live on stage at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago doing Late Night Catechism, and in just a week or so going to be doing that's very phallic with that ruler Holy Ghost Bingo at the don't Don't even.
I am sure you're striking terror into the hearts of half of our viewers right now.
Yeah. No, but the way she was holding that thing, I was like, and I don't have enough inches. So, and Leslie Hoban Blake, who appears on the video podcast Critics Circle with our friend Charles Gross, and you can watch all of those episodes on their YouTube channel of Critics Circle. Anyway, David and Vicki and Leslie are playing the Today Yesterday quiz. We're into round 3. David is leading 8 points to Vicki and Leslie's 2 each. This question, though, goes directly to Vicki Quade. Are you ready, Vicki, for some multiple choice?
I am.
The year 2017. Speaking of, you know what? You can hold up the ruler. Actually, go ahead, hold it up. Congressman Anthony Weiner is sentenced to 21 months in prison for sexting with a 15-year-old girl. Speaking of wieners...
Make it slower. I'm sorry.
Carlos Danger. According to portablepress.com, which of these is not true about Frankfurters?
Okay.
A, the founder of Nathan's wanted to counter the perception that hot dogs weren't healthy, so he hired people to wear surgeon smocks while eating at the restaurant. B, speaking of Nathan's, hot dog eating world champion Joey Chestnut spent 5 years as a fitness trainer before becoming a competitive eater. C, hot dogs make up almost 20% of the cases where children choke to death on food. Or D, the most expensive hot dog ever sold was topped with cheese made out of moose milk.
What's the name of Leslie? I want to put Leslie's website. What's the name of it?
Does Leslie have it?
No, but Charlie. What's the show?
Oh, Critics Circle. Okay, sorry.
Look at that.
Oh, no!
Say it and he's got it. Wow.
Wow. And how long is that bull's winkle? So here's a...
You didn't get any milk out of me.
Well, I
like the bull's winkle. I'm
Actually,
sorry.
I did. I told them it was from me because my residuals were running out, and I needed the money.
You told, in other words, you told them it was milk, is what you're saying.
You think I hear anything?
No.
You think I hear anything from that squirrel? He hasn't contacted me in years.
Anywho,
I'm living in a basement.
Yeah.
I'm living in a basement apartment in Frostbite Falls. It's terrible.
Okay, Nathan's, they're wearing surgical smocks. Kids choke 20% on hot dogs. That I believe. Moose cheese is possible, I guess. And what's the other Nathan's one?
Hot dog eating world champion Joey Chestnut spent 5 years as a fitness trainer before becoming a competitive eater.
You know what? I'm going to say that the hot dog one is false because I'll bet it's more than 20%. I'm going to say that's not true.
But you mean the choking of the kid?
Yeah. I'm going to say it's more than 20%.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, Vicki, frankly, that is not the correct answer, I'm afraid. It's about 17% of children choke to death on hot dogs. So, there's no joke about it. So I'm going to roll a die, though, and let's see who gets to steal this question. We come up directly with a number 4, which, go figure, is closest to David Sheward. David, you can get 10 points if you get this.
All right.
Wait. It's exactly halfway between David and me. So how can it be closer?
No.
I'm number 2. He's number
3.
Oh, no, you're 3. I'm so sorry,
3.
David. I'm so sorry.
Watch it, Dr.
I had
Sue.
6 in my head. I'm sorry.
Watch it, Dr.
I was
Sue.
trying to fight for that, you know.
Okay. All right. So
We have a Dr. Sue sighting. Yes.
I just said, shut up, Dr. Sue. I said it myself.
all right. So A is
I can read them again. The founder, A, is, one of these is not true. A, the founder of Nathan's wanted to counter the perception that hot dogs weren't healthy, so he hired people to wear surgeon smocks while eating at the restaurant. B, speaking of Nathan's, hot dog eating world champion Joey Chestnut spent 5 years as a fitness trainer before becoming a competitive eater. Or D, the most expensive hot dog ever sold was topped with cheese made out of moose milk.
Okay, that sounds crazy enough to be true, and we've had D as an answer already. I think we've had a B answer. I think, I'm not sure. But there was one we've had two. I forget if it was C twice or B twice.
David, is it?
Right?
Just think of the answer, not the number.
Your theory only works if you
All right,
remember all
I
of
was
this.
going to go with A because we haven't had an A answer yet. And also, that doesn't make too much sense to me, because if you have to put on a doctor's surgical smock to eat something, that means that something you're eating has a problem.
Wow.
Maybe it's just messy.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with A.
As long as there's no ketchup on it, that's the thing.
Or moose milk.
Is Chicago a ketchup on hot dog place? Because New
It's
York
like
is
the dolphin.
No ketchup on the hot dog.
Maybe they had it with dolphin milk.
Oh, well. You're just
So
spouting
logo.
off now. All right, okay, here we go. That's your final answer.
My final answer is A.
Okay. Is there a doctor in the house? Because we have to resuscitate David after that answer. It is not correct. Oh boy. So we have a skill opportunity.
Oh, come on, Leslie.
Leslie Hoban Blake, you've got a 50-50 shot at
So
this question.
B and D are both available.
That is correct.
And
And if
B
you've ever
is-
had B&D, you know how delightful that is.
Steven said no surgery would endorse hot dogs.
B is Joey Chestnut and D is
Is moose milk cheese
Moose milk.
on the most expensive hot dog ever sold.
Is it
I would think that the most expensive hot dog ever sold would have to have gold flakes on it somewhere. Because whenever they make the most expensive steaks or anything like that, they sprinkle gold dust on them. So I'm going to think that moose cheese alone wouldn't be enough, even if it was true.
Hey, moose cheese is golden.
Yeah, okay. What do I know?
So
Anything from this moose is golden, baby.
So
I
Leslie,
have
did we
so
have an
many
answer
jokes in mind, none of which I can do on the
Yeah.
show.
on this show? Is there a
I
joke
know,
you
David,
cannot?
but I'm not you, David. I'm not you. I don't go to certain things.
Take a look at these antlers,
Don't say
baby.
anything. I have certain standards. I won't go there.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, now stepping back,
moose?
stepping backwards. The Joey Chestnut one is just it's what's not true.
One of these is not true, Leslie. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to hate myself, but I'm going to go with moose cheese is not true. D. I'm going to go with D. I know we've had D's. That's it.
Is
And
that
D
your
without B is not much fun.
final antler? Get it? There's a little joke there.
Oh,
and
You
David,
almost got a spit take that time. I had just gotten coffee in my mouth.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. David, put some clothes on that so he can be a styling moose.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
He gets it. He gets it. Anywho, weirdly enough, somehow I actually stumped the panel on this one.
Oh,
The thing that was not true is Joey Chestnut was not.
wow.
And did you know that
Really?
Joey Chestnut was he graduated San Jose State with a degree in civil engineering. He was doing
Wow.
construction and engineering
Oh.
and was going to give up eating and
Which is how he figured out how to do all that. He built a little chute. He's got a little chute that he puts in his
it goes all the way through, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
And by the way, Leslie, I didn't say that the only thing on the hot dog was moose milk cheese. I said one of the things on it was moose milk cheese. It also had cranberries and maple syrup bacon on it. And I don't know if it had the gold flake dust on it. It's a freaking Frankfurter. I'm sorry. I can't
So you're
begin.
getting comments. Didn't stump me, Dave.
Vicky, in Chicago, they put ketchup on hot dogs.
No.
No, oh my God, it's Chicago. It's Mustard Town.
It's
Good
mustard
Lord.
Well, no, but I also can't imagine it. But when you kept saying ketchup, I thought maybe there was something about Chicago with ketchup.
I'm New York. I
Oh,
love
okay.
ketchup on a hot dog. Mustard, yeah, no, I'm sorry, Vicky, but I grew up with ketchup on.
We saw that barbecue show where they went to Chicago, remember?
Yeah, you do not put. They run you out
No,
of
I
town.
don't either. I'm a mustard girl. Okay, it's my question now.
Actually, let's see.
No, I think it's
No,
David's
it's
now.
David's.
No.
I think it's
Okay.
No. Here's the.
I lost my chance. That was my big chance to pull forward. That's it.
Yeah. No, nobody got any points on that one as we move into the third and final round of our Today Yesterday quiz. I think, honestly, I don't think anybody can catch up.
No, they can't.
Buster.
No, I think I got the first question of the third round.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's my turn, right?
So it's David now. He's
Right.
got the second question.
You're
of the
right,
third
you're right.
round.
I was confused because he had.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were already in the third round. Right, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm very,
We're in the
very
third
sorry.
round.
Very sorry. But it is David's question. So, David, just
Okay.
for glory's sake,
Of course.
you can see if you get 10 points by answering this question correctly.
Okay.
It is another.
Winnings with glory in that case.
Oh, sorry.
You have to split your winnings with glory in that case if it's for glory's sake.
Basically, yeah. I put them in a little hole later so we can all go to the
Here's,
glory.
here's 10
dear.
points right here. There's 10
Hold
points.
fast, the air level.
I'm still working on the glory hole. Never mind. It's okay.
That's what you said last night.
The air level.
And notice they all know what it means, even
I'm
in
damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. I should just go like this. That's all. I shouldn't say anything.
It's in Moab.
Is it Moab? Yeah, okay. Here we go. This is a 3 clues in the news that goes directly to David Sheward. You
Okay.
know how
I
this
think
works.
David's
Like
in me.
this.
Okay.
And it has something to do with something that's in the news.
All right.
Door
Door.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Slap.
Oh,
Slap.
door.
I like the slap. Oh, no, sorry.
Door.
After the glory hole?
Not,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
not knob. It's not Mrs. Knob.
The answer is none. No.
This is Mrs. Butterworth. Maybe. Mrs.
Mrs.
Door. Jam. Door jam. What was the third word? Door Mrs. Slap.
Slap.
Schlap.
Slap.
SLAP. Okay.
Yes.
Slap.
Face. Door face. Door Mrs. Face. Okay. Door. What's been in the news lately? The budget. Submarines. France.
That's a hard one.
This one's tougher than the other. I will give it that.
Door jam. Door slap. Face slap. Face cream. No, it's Mrs. It's not face. Mrs. Butterworth. Mrs.
He goes there. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, she hung out with Aunt Jemima. Oh, they were really lovers. Did you know that?
Were they really? It's a very syrupy relationship, though.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Yeah. Anywho.
I think they were also not real. They were fictitious.
Really? Oh.
But they used to get it on behind the grocery counter.
And Uncle Ben used to watch. It was like,
Oh dear! Oh dear! Captain Crunch would keep score.
wait, he wasn't. How did Captain Crunch get in there?
The product. He's a cereal.
Oh well.
All right. Wait a minute. Okay. Door.
Uncle Ben.
Doorknob. Door latch. Door key. Door front. Mrs. Front. Slap him down. Slap shot. Door shot. Mrs. Shot. Door. Frame. Mrs. Frame. Frame.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Well, although you're pretty well known, David Sheward, you're not famous. That is not the correct answer, I'm afraid.
Right.
We're going to roll a die here and see if somebody can get this question.
What was his answer?
Frame is the question.
Oh, somebody said this is devolving quickly.
Yes, it kind of is. Number 1. We come up with a number 1.
That's what Mrs. Butterworth said.
Leslie, this is your steal.
This is my steal opportunity that's not going to happen, right? I'm as confuzzled as David is.
Frame. Jam.
I was doing door jam, and then slap came in, and I don't know what the hell that is. So
Slap.
shot,
Slap.
Mrs. Shot, shot Mrs. No, door shot door. I have no idea. I totally. I mean, even a word doesn't come in.
Yeah,
I know. Well, I
thought of
only
it.
have.
I thought of it.
okay.
Nope, too late.
Oh, you did.
Too
Okay.
late.
Well, then,
I'll let you.
don't-
If the other two don't get it, I'll let you try
So
it.
I know what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Hold on to it, Dave.
That's what she said.
Oversight.
All right.
Oversight.
I know what it is.
Wait, I haven't given up yet. Just a minute. I'm trying to mind meld with David now. No, it's not working. Jam.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, why not?
Well, that was a jolly good try, but it was not the correct answer. Vicki, do you want to give it a shot?
I've been sitting here thinking, and no. I'm gonna say, come see my show, Holy Ghost Bingo in Chicago.
Right.
Could you repeat the
question? I'll repeat the clues. The three clues in the news are door, misses, slap.
And the answer is
wait. Vicki, whoa. It's still Vicki.
I thought she was giving up.
No. I gave up. I said, come see my show, Holy Ghost.
That was your answer. Okay. David Sheward, try it.
Dash.
Door dash. Slap dash.
Oh, yeah.
Door dash, slap dash, Mrs. Dash, and in the news because.
Why? Dashiell Hammett? I don't know.
Well,
I know why. I know why they just signed that bill that would allow the door to make more money.
Basic rights for delivery people.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't the reason at all. It was because singer Stacey Dash died.
Oh,
I didn't know that. Well, yeah. Okay, you had 2 for 1 there.
Oh.
So, well, 2 for 1, that creates an M dash, if you will. But I don't know what that means.
Is Mrs. Dash still on the shelves, and is she having an affair with Mrs. Butterworth?
It's a spicy affair indeed, I'll tell you that.
She left Aunt Jemima for Mrs. Dash.
No, excuse me, that would be such
Uncle Ben.
Such a horrible pairing. I can't believe that.
Mrs. Dash and Mrs. Butterworth?
And in your syrup, please.
Now, even though David's won, Leslie still has a final question.
This is correct.
Thank you, Vicki, for keeping track.
All right,
Sarah Dash, not Stacy?
I'm sorry. Was it Stacy? Forgive me. What did I say, Sarah? I meant I could have been wrong. Is it the one who was in LaBelle? Is it Megan Stacy Dash?
Yeah,
Forgive me. Forgive me, Stacy Dash.
Sarah Dash, not Stacy.
So who that? Wait, Sarah. That's what I said. Sarah Dash.
I thought
died.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Dashing through the grave. All right. Here we go. Last question. This one
with Mrs. Butterworth.
Leslie.
Captain Crunch has his jolly words.
This has to go. Okay, Leslie Hoban, this will be fun. The year is a multiple choice. 2018 was the year.
Oh.
Here we go. Bill Cosby is given a jail sentence of 3 to 10 years for committing aggravated indecent assault, a conviction that would be vacated 3 years later. We know that. Guilty or innocent, we'd rather remember Cosby as a great comedian, particularly on early albums like I Started Out as a Child and Wonderfulness. He also released a number of music albums, including all of these except with
Popcorn.
A. Badfoot Brown and the Bunyan's Bradford Funeral and Marching Band. B. Bill Cosby presents Bradford Brown and the Bunyan's Bradford Funeral and Marching Band. C. Bill Cosby is not himself these days. Or D. Hey, he makes music too.
So one of these is not real, and the other 3 are.
Yeah.
And the other 3 are.
Well, the other 3 are actual titles of his music albums.
I'm going to go with A.
We're going to go with A. Badfoot Brown and the Bunyan's Bradford Funeral and Marching Band is not a real record.
Well, it doesn't have his name in it, and I would think he would have his name in it somehow.
David,
you want my logic? That's.
No.
Okay.
Well, Leslie, I'm afraid you're going to foot the bill on this one because anywho, not correct. So I'm gonna roll the die and see who can pick this one up. Let's see. Sorry, I just made a number 2. Leslie, that would have been your number, but you're closest to David Sheward, who can now finally see if he can get those extra 2 points for the 10. David Sheward,
So it was not A, right?
It was not A.
What are the remaining choices?
The remaining choices are B.
B,
No,
C, and D.
What are they? Thank you, Captain Obvious. I figured
Anything
that
I
out.
can do to help.
I figured that out, but what are the words to A, B, to B?
which of these is,
Matter.
is not a Bill
Which
Cosby
is
album?
false? Which is false?
B. Bill Cosby presents Bradford Brown and the Bunyan's Bradford Funeral and Marching Band. C. Bill Cosby is not himself these days. Or D. Hey, 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 he makes music too.
I think I've seen so-and-so is not himself these days, but I forget if it was Bill Cosby. Was that somebody else? I mean, I think that album exists, but I don't know if it's with Bill Cosby. And Hey, Hey, Hey is what Fat Albert, his character, would say. And my letters thing doesn't work anymore because we're late in the game. And we've had B, C, and D as answers. So, B was Bill Cosby presents all those other B's. I think that's, wait a minute. So A is real. The
A is real.
Wait.
A, which was Bradford Brown and the Bunyan's Bradford Funeral and Marching. You're just making me say these.
Is real.
Is an actual album.
So the question is, was there also one, Bill Cosby's presents, da-da-da-da-da,
Right.
almost the same thing. So that sounds really weird. I'll just go with my gut and say B.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Staggeringly enough, and it's almost a trick question, David Sheward, that is not the correct answer either.
So,
Bill Cosby released
wow.
Bradford Brown and then 2 years later he released an entirely different album called Bill Cosby Presents Bradford Brown and the Bunyan's Band. So
I should have gone with that counterintuitive thinking, but anyway, go ahead.
But anyway, I think Vicki Quade gets to steal.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's C, that he's not himself these days.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, always be yourself, Vicki, because we love you. But no, I stumped everybody again. The hey. I mean, he did the Jack Albert thing, but I just made up that title.
I should have thought of that.
Yeah.
David was being tricky.
That's right.
Yeah, being tricky.
So here's the status of the game. David did win the game 8-2. But do you all have your pens and papers? Because we yes, we still have a tiebreaker. And we're going to do it.
David Lefkowitz, did you win the game today?
I always get the answers in front of me.
Stumped us.
Oh, I see.
You stumped us,
All right.
I did. Well, I feel I kind of like stumping you once in a while, and then if I stump everybody too much, I realize I'm making them too.
How many stumps did we get today? 2 or 3?
2, I think.
It's like literally a whole room of amputees. I stumped you 3 times.
I thought it was 3 times.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, that's what she said. Okay, here we go. The tiebreaker question is, and I think you guys will get this one. The year, and you're going to write it down, and then I'll do 3, 2, 1, read the question.
Okay.
1930 was the year. Born today in Chicago. Is this what? Oh, is someone write anything? Or
No, I'm thinking Chicago has the regional feel from one of the contestants.
maybe.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
1930. Born today in Chicago.
Wait, what year?
1930.
30.
Okay.
Is this author, cartoonist, and songwriter whose tunes included the political folk anthem Hey Nelly Nelly, the children's favorite Boa Constrictor, and the sad and serious Ballad of Lucy Jordan. Name that artist.
Say it again?
I will. Born today, this author, cartoonist, and songwriter whose tunes included the political folk anthem Hey Nelly Nelly, the children's favorite Boa Constrictor, and the sad and serious Ballad of Lucy Jordan. Name that artist.
You got another person wrote in called Mac, and Mac said, "Well played, Dave. Well played, Dave."
Thank you. Matt.
Mac, M-A-C.
Ooh, hello, Mac.
Kane?
I don't know, but welcome. Glad you're watching the show.
Well played
do
that,
you have an answer?
that he stumped us twice?
I stumbled
3
on
times.
3 times. Yeah.
3 times.
So,
3 times.
We're each missing a limb.
and actually, yes, I stumped you on a tree question if you think about it. So I'm
Yeah.
branching out. Oh, leave me alone. Anyhow.
Mr. Peabody.
Yeah. Has anybody written in? Did Stephen or?
Say it again.
Okay, I'll read the question. Did you guys write down answers?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. 1930, born today in Chicago, author, cartoonist, and songwriter whose tunes included the political folk anthem Hey Nelly Nelly, the children's favorite Boa Constrictor, and the sad and serious Ballad of Lucy Jordan. Name that artist. Do we have anybody?
Silencio.
No, nobody wrote in. So 3, 2, 1.
Shel Silverstein.
And oh my God! Bravo, all three of you. Super job. Which is the one that gave it for each of you? Which of you? Because I could have said,
Born in Chicago, 1930.
Oh, really?
Well, also the fact that
No, I just went somebody who was both an author and an illustrator and wrote
Right.
songs. I don't recognize any of those songs, to be honest.
I didn't know the titles at all, but I just
No.
knew that Silverstein.
You've never heard
was-
I've been eaten by a boa constrictor?
Oh,
Oh, that's kind. Oh no, there goes my toe. Oh heck, there goes my neck. He's swallowed up by that. That's a classic.
No, I don't know.
We grew up saying, "Don't bump the glump." That was our big thing. Was the horrible beasts or whatever he did the illustrations for all the animals.
Well, he did the Giving Tree.
Well, yeah, one of the greatest
Yeah,
children's
he
books
did.
ever.
And the hole in the sidewalk.
Where the sidewalk ends. Yeah.
Or the sidewalk.
And one
yeah.
of the animals was the glump, and the thing just said, "Don't bump the glump." And it was so meaningful. It was so deep. It was, 5 words, and it was so deep. It was wonderful.
Yeah. So much things.
He worked at Playboy, I believe.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of stuff for them.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah. So well done. Well done. Everybody got 2 non-existent points because it was a tiebreaker, but what a great way to go out, ladies and gentlemen. So before I go out with these wonderful people who are playing the Today Yesterday quiz, let me just do a little tumbling with them and remind people what they're doing and where they can see them. First of all,
their links in the David has many links, so I put the David desk too because it has.
Oh.
Yeah, so we even have some sausage links on there for David Sheward. But David, what did you write this week? What can people read of your stuff?
I have my reviews of 2 shows. The latest, most recent reviews are What Happened, the last Richard Nelson play in Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
It's still playing. And I also have a review of a show at Atlantic Theater Company called, what was it called? The Last of the Love Letters, which is a very strange, weird play. And I just saw Sanctuary City last night, and I intend to do a review of it.
So people can read David's reviews in culturaldaily.com, also theaterlife.com. And you also have a blog. And did you write anything for the blog this week?
No, I've been kind of busy, but I'll try and come up with something, maybe something about Australian submarines or,
Aunt Jemima.
The fact that, Aunt Jemima. Oh, Aunt Jemima and
La Scandale.
Aunt Jemima. Oh, it says my connection is unstable, so I better pass it on.
So
it's your fault.
No, everybody else is fine. It's you, David.
Okay, everything's fine.
The champion, by the way, David, where's the crown thing? This actually doesn't belong to me right now. It belongs to David Sheward, winner of our Today Yesterday quiz. Vicki Quade, you're doing Late Night Catechism at the Greenhouse. When was it? Weekend show? When do you do it?
It's on weekends, but I wanted to say on Monday I am performing my new game show. It's at a park district. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's called "Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun?"
And second person,
the whole thing. I have questions, so I'm going to be performing that
in person at the Greenhouse, right?
Well, it's going to be at a venue that's in the suburbs of Chicago.
You can't tell people what venue.
It's at a park district.
Yeah. And Leslie Hoban Blake, have you done a new or recent?
Yes, but I have a question for David before he leaves. Yeah. David, you're the only person that I know going to the theater now on some kind of regular basis. So I have 2 or 3 questions for you. Number one, how full are the theaters that you're going to? That's the question.
Oh, okay. They're pretty full. When I went to Passover, it was pretty full, but I think it was like 100%.
You just mentioned off-Broadway shows. I'm really curious because Broadway is getting, there's a show tonight on Broadway. There's another show. It's getting a lot of hype from the networks, and off-Broadway's not getting anything. which really pains me. Our friend Rob, the guy who did Moron, the Book of Moron,
Robert Dubach
had to close his show early because there was not enough audience.
Oh.
And he hired KSA. I mean, he did all the right things, and he couldn't continue to pay rent on a theater that was not filling up with people. And I feel terrible for the off-Broadway theaters. And, so I wondered if they had, if you had what kind of
but
these are institutional theaters that
the Atlantic and so I've been to the Atlantic and I've been to New York Theater Workshop at the Lortel.
Houses, right?
At the Lortel, and they were pretty full.
But this was also press week. I mean, you're not going 2 weeks into the run either. You're going
and then the other thing is, you feel comfortable wearing a mask through an entire production?
Well, I have to wear a mask at school the whole day. So
I see. Okay, so yeah, all right.
It's because the students find him so ugly.
I had a handy person come yesterday. I had trouble keeping the mask on in my own house for the whole time that he was there. He's a stranger. I don't know.
You get the mask that's like a beak. It works better.
They do have. It's not an. It's an N95.
So for my mother too, she has difficulty with the mask. So because of her breathing, so it's different. But there's an N95 mask that looks like a beak, so it has a little.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. It makes things in my face when I wear that one. Oh, I know what you're saying.
Any mask is going to make things on your.
No, the little surgical mask doesn't. But it does make my face sweat after a while.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I was just going to say that.
By the way, it is fall. I know it's not warm. I know it's still warm out. But I'm dressed for fall, guys. You did a thing about why am I wearing a scarf? I'm dressed for fall. I got this out of my fall basket. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
David, what was saying? Yeah.
No, I just had one other thing to say is that Sanctuary City is extending another week, so I think that they may
doing well. Yeah, and I would like. I think I was thinking maybe I could get to that one because if they would let me sit in the back, where I'm not sitting next to anyone on my walker, I would be able to do that. I'm gonna call. I'm going to call Jim Nicola and ask him if he'll let me do that. Because and then I'm okay. So we put up two things this week on YouTube. We put up the Come From Away where I changed my mind 180 degrees or 360. I went from not liking the show to loving it. And he put up our old one. It's 4 years ago or 3 years ago when I did a very negative review of it. And the reasons why I changed my mind. I said basically I was eating crow. Come From Away.
Yes, I am now curious. I mean,
these are what you want to know what my reasons are.
Now, did you see Come From Away again? Have you been listening to the cast album?
Come From Away is on one of the streaming stations.
Oh, so you watched? Okay, got it.
Of the same exact show that I saw with the same exact cast.
Okay.
One of the people I had directed in the role of that. The couple that meets the woman from Georgia and the man from England, I directed that actress Sharon Wheatley in something many years ago, and the thing is that you know what that musical changed her life because when I worked with her, she was married to our musical director Rob Meth, and during the run of Come From Away, she divorced Rob and she married the female stage manager, which is like an entire new world opened up.
I know.
Go look for it in the Times, Sharon Wheatley. Anyway, that's one thing we have. It's a double because we gave the old one and the new one in the same thing. And then the other was the Cinderella with Camilla Cabello.
Oh, and that's also streaming. I heard it was not wonderful.
I loved it.
Oh, there we go. Look at this.
I loved it. Charlie said it was like the Gloria Steinem version. And I think for little girls growing up, to see a girl who grows up and has no interest in being a princess at all, and wants to be an independent person and have her own life and make things on her own. I was thrilled with it. And she's adorable. She's absolutely adorable.
I think it's kind of funny that we're in an era now where it would be inappropriate to have a little girl in a movie wanting to be a princess. But if it's a little boy who wants to be a princess, that's absolutely politically correct and what they should be making now.
Because the princess in the story wants to be the queen. It's got everything. The princess in the story is well educated, understands how to run the kingdom, and can do a better job than her father. So, and her mother is, so she gets to run the kingdom. I mean, it turned to and Billy Porter was the fabulous godmother.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of fairy princesses, but here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's barking?
Yeah, I think that's outside. We have a big beautiful dog outside. Anywho, big and beautiful. These are the people we have with us every week here in the Daverhood. People like David Sheward, Vicki Quade, Leslie Hoban Blake. Have a wonderful first week of autumn. Stay well, stay safe.
I'm dressed for it.
Yes, you are, Leslie Hoban. Yeah, David
is dressed for the tropics. I'm dressed for fall in New York. Not that there is one, but I'm dressed for it.
Well, Vicky's fall in Chicago because it's kind of like a sweatery red thing.
A long sleeve.
Yeah.
And I do have hot dogs in my refrigerator, and I might just go make one now.
Don't forget the moose milk.
Vicki, wrap them
spice,
Pillsbury. Those Pillsbury
I do.
the triangles that you can buy in a little thing. Wrap a hot dog in that and put it in the oven for a couple of minutes. It's delicious.
But don't give it to a child because there's a 20% chance they'll choke on
it. 17%, Dave.
It's a giant pig in a blanket, basically.
Don't forget the moose milk.
Yeah. Guys, have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for playing the Today Yesterday game. It's so great to see all of you.
I will do this by phone from now on, David. If you think this is it's okay.
You look great.
It works okay. I will do it from.
Do the phone.
You're right. You're absolutely right. So I will do that from now on. I don't want to be late. I really don't want that to be my epitaph as a team.
Leslie, it's okay. You're worth the wait, Leslie.
You are worth the wait. Leslie, we'll see you next week.
Could we not mention my weight? Could we leave my weight out?
Oh.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you for the
guys.
line, Joyce.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Vicki. Have a good.
Oh, well, sorry, and there we go. The 817th episode of Dave's Gone By.
People playing in the chat, which is good.
How did they do? Did they do okay? Did they stump them?
Good. I think Mac was just doing commentary, giving some. Some commentary.
Mac.
Yeah.
I don't know this Mac person, but welcome to Mac and, of course, to Stephen and other people today. Any thumbs up or any hearts, any love?
Just for me, baby.
Any vomit emojis?
Yeah, for me.
Well, because save those vomit emojis for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. That'll be coming up in a little bit.
Oh, no.
But before then, we also we haven't even yet gotten to...
Oh, no.
What, babe, what? Greeley Crimes and Old Times... I say we do that now. You ready for some criminality, my dear? Are you ready to get from a couple of articles that are in our local newspaper, the Greeley Tribune? Every week, we mix them up for Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So what this is, and it really is true, these are columns in the Greeley Tribune newspaper, a real newspaper with two real columns, one of which is based on phone calls that come into the Greeley-Weld County Police Department from people who see weird stuff happening in the neighborhood, plus also, our friend there, Mike Peters, goes through the newspapers 100 years ago and finds the juiciest items from way back in the day. Hon, you sound like you're ready. You got the sound effects going. You got the energy going. Let's get criminal. A caller! Oh, hold it. I gotta find my phone. Hold it. Oh, wait, no, it's not this. Oh, where's that? Hello? Oh, I got him. Yeah. A caller on 20. Wow. No, maybe this isn't it. Hold it. Oh, here we go. Hello? No. Maybe this is it. Okay, yes. A caller on 22nd Street reported, yes, his garage door. Remember, these people are calling the police. They're calling like 911 or the local police department. This caller reported his garage door opened and closed 3 times on its own.
Ooh.
End of
You
story.
know what that's called? You have the remote in your pocket, and
Yes.
or you're sat on it in the car, or it's in your pocket. Or it's
You're-
in your wife's pocketbook, and she clicked it.
Can you butt dial your garage?
Yeah, of
I think.
course.
Yeah, absolutely. A man on 8th Avenue, but not 8th Street. 8th Avenue and 16th Street thought. This is what this man thought. He thought a police impersonator was near a cannabis-themed sub-restaurant. And there's no follow-up. That's,
I
that's
guess
the
maybe
joy of
they
these
don't
things.
want to show like the police are supporting cannabis use. I don't know.
I don't. But you see, it's a police.
Cannabis sub?
Yeah, you know the place. It was right. Yes, we were passing by all the time. We ate there once or twice. It wasn't bad.
It was
8th Avenue,
yes.
16th Street.
Yes. Not
What is-
16th. It was There's a cannabis sub place. It was near Egg and I. It was near the Egg and I in that shopping center where you got your sushi.
Oh, that place?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of the other one. Something because they got a joke. All the sandwiches were.
Oh
Mocking-
yes, no, you're right. Yes.
But
near
what
school.
was it called? It was
I don't know.
baked something.
Yes.
Anywho,
Baked cookies.
a caller on 26th Street. Hello. Said that a man came to the front door twice and then started dancing in the street. And of course, this is the cops need to be told.
Party all the time.
Oh, they'll be psychos. They're dancing in the street. Dance. A caller on 41st Avenue. Oh, this much further away. Hello, caller on 41st Avenue. Yes. Reported. Now, this is okay. A man with an assault rifle near TJ Maxx. Wow.
I like TJ Maxx. I hope nobody got hurt.
Well, they
were
do have a
nice.
bad return policy.
I love those TJ Maxx men and women. They were so nice in the store to us. They were lovely. I
Well,
hope they're okay.
Me too. You can't buy an assault rifle at TJ, can you?
No, you can buy a shirt that has an assault rifle image, but
Yes.
you can't buy it,
No, I know you can get, I guess, at Walmart and places like that, they sell
Assault
artillery.
rifles, I
but
don't think you can buy. I mean,
yeah,
assault rifles
I mean, it's not a shotgun.
Yeah.
It's not a. But good lord.
Very problematic.
Actually, it occurs to me, aren't all rifles assault rifles?
No, but it's the rapidity of the shoot.
Yeah.
The shooting, I think.
Now, hon, this is with the rifles and the garage doors. It's too much modern times. I think we need to go back to the olden days, to 1921, 100 years ago, when things were gentler and quieter, except, of course, when we have a hobo alert. Hobo alert! This is important. This means we have a story involving hobos from 100 years ago. A man believed to be a hobo. Remember, this is how they wrote about things back then. Was armed when he robbed the Western Light and Power Company in Greeley. He held... I'm wondering if he was a Polish hobo. He held an employee at bay and took a new alarm clock and a bologna sandwich.
So, where does a hobo plug in an alarm clock?
Well, no, the alarm that's
Oh.
yeah. You can, I guess, okay, an alarm you can carry with you on the train. But he robs a power company and he takes an alarm clock and a bologna sandwich.
Where did he find the bologna sandwich?
This is I don't know. Maybe he was hamming it up. When he left, he crawled on the roof of a train car heading to Fort Collins. But when the train arrived in Fort Collins, the bandit had vanished. Hobo on the loose.
Listen, hobos know how to disappear. That's by nature part of their job description.
I know, but
that's like.
Anybody sitting next to him would smell the bologna sandwich on his breath, though.
Listen, he'd probably be attacked by other hobos, or he probably would share it. I think it's a communal culture.
Oh, yeah.
I think hoboism is communal. I think it's a communal culture.
Yeah, and especially if they have a sandwich like that, they like to meet. Yeah, that's a little comedy there, a little joke there, my friends. Let's stay old-timey. Let's stay with some items from 100 years ago in the Tribune. The new state minimum wage law for teachers has raised their salary. Teachers will now be paid Take a wild guess.
$2.
Actually, this is monthly.
I don't
Take
know.
a wild. $75
Woohoo!
per month. And I swear to God, I'm in a district where the teachers make like $75 an hour. It's amazing. See, oh, and the newspaper has provided, I don't know if this is true or not, they put this in the paper back in 1921. Did you know that the name of the letter Q comes from the French word Q, Q-U-E-U-E, meaning tail? That's
Like
because
the Q, like
the
in
Q has
Spanish,
a little tail.
El fin de coda, or la fin de coda, like the end of the thing, the end of the line. But Q is like, yeah.
It's got a little tail, so it's cute.
Like,
Cute.
are you on the Q? Yeah, yeah.
I did not know if that is true. That's really cute. And I'm glad that was in the papers back then. And by the way, the more things change, the more things stay the same. One of the first bad things to happen to Joyce and me when we moved to Colorado and she was teaching at the school, and we were having, we liked our house, we liked the town, we liked the people, we liked the whole feel of the place. First bad thing that happened was that our bikes were stolen.
No, my bike, not yours.
No, it was just yours?
Just mine.
So your bicycle was like a $300 for a bicycle, which was chained up right outside the front door of the building, this castle-y building that you're working in. And then literally they just clipped the chain, grabbed it, who knows who, they never found it. So back in the day, 100 years ago, 2 bicycles were stolen from the teacher's college bike rack last night at about 8:30. This part, however, I imagine is different from the animals who stole your bike. This time, they were taken by 2 young ladies in white with hair done up. Be greatly appreciated if the bikes are returned. One is needed by the owner to deliver Tribune newspapers.
Yes, I needed my bike to get myself to school. I remember I used to, before we had
Yeah.
the car, I used to go through the park and used to bike.
But you would figure, UNC had 100 fucking years to get their security down.
I think bikes are something that's a common, it's a
Yeah,
common.
but it's not as if we can chain our bike up. You literally tie it. We
Yeah, but you
clip the
can
lock.
cut anything.
Yeah.
Just as you develop something, there's a way around it.
Unbelievable. Anyway, and we do have an advertisement though. Speaking of being bespoke and the way Leslie was dressed and the moose was undressed,
I was
Hibbs.
troubling with the moose a little bit. That was
Yeah,
troubling
that's
to
little,
me.
yeah, little bit.
Why was he undressed and why was he so active?
Maybe it's mating season or something. Yeah. Here's the deal. Hibbs Clothing Company is advertising back-to-school clothes for boys. They include the boys' first long trousers to begin school. Long trousers are required in schools these days. And the great thing is by 1990, you could let them sag down past your ass. So more things change, I guess. This is cute. In Kersey, back in 1921, a pipe smoker escaped serious injury when his pipe blew up.
Oh my God.
Somehow, this is great, a .22 caliber bullet
Oh, what?
got mixed in with a pipe tobacco.
Come on, David.
When the pipe was lit, it exploded into pieces and the smoker received minor burns. Wow.
That is just really weird.
That is pretty great. Wow. And I thought that was going to be a puff piece. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, or don't. Let's get back to some criminality from new times, gritty crimes and old times. A man on 39th Avenue told police he dug up a bone in his backyard, but he couldn't tell whether it was human or not. I think I would call the police on that one. You know what I'm saying? It's not that kind of bone.
You can tell the difference. I could tell animal versus human. You can tell by the shape of the bone.
Well, it isn't necessarily like a big old human leg bone. I mean, maybe it's just like a little rib thing. It could be a dog, could be whatever. It's not like a whole pelvis.
I hope it was fake.
Well, no, it could have been Gabby Petito. I don't know why I keep making the Gabby Petito references.
Because the
but-
name is like potato and it's stuck in your head.
Yes! Speaking of which, let's take a quick break to do something very important, ladies and gentlemen. I got a package in the mail. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. Thank you, eBay. Ladies and gentlemen, What could possibly be in this package? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's a very cute little baby broccoli? Yeah. Maybe, perhaps, it's a mushroom. What kind of
he's good looking.
a happy little hat there? Oh, well, and check the eyes. Little bit of acromegaly going on there. No teeth either. All right, mushroom. Let's see. What else? Why would I get a bag like this in the mail? What could it possibly be? Let's pull this. That's what she said. There we go. Oh, come on. Out we go. Oh, this is the father, I guess, of the, or...
On celery.
Oh, this is celery.
I know
Okay.
you don't know vegetables because you don't eat them, but that's celery.
Yeah, that's why I wish I make a better celery, but here we go. Look at this. He's all right. He's kind of cute. I don't know. I have no idea why I'm getting this kind of thing in the mail. What could be in there? What's I have something else in here. I don't know what it could possibly be. No idea. I have no idea what's in here. Oh. Speaking of ketchup.
Oh.
Wow. He's just big everywhere. He's like a mob boss. Look at him.
He's cute. I like him.
He is very cute. He's cute.
He looks like he was in the sun or washed. He looks a little faded.
Well, he's a sun-dried tomato. Why would I have... Oh, wait. The bag seems to be empty. I have no... Oh, what could this be? What would this be? Yes! It is a brand old potato.
Hold him up to the screen. Wait, I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Here we go. He's up there. The ribbon, a little bit worse for wear. A lot of them are having very, very raggedy ribbons these days when I'm getting them on eBay. Look at him. He's got the eyes. He's got the plump little tuchus. He's got one of his tags.
Plush. He's definitely a plushie.
He's a plushie. He's got the soft eyes instead of the hard shell eyes.
Plushie.
Yeah, but we got to do something about this. This ribbon has seen better days. But look what a beautiful new potato in the Daverhood. I have to say, it was
gorgeous.
Had a busy week at work. It was a busy, sometimes stressful week, and a lot of stuff going on. But when the week ends with a new potato, it's kind of hard to complain, my friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're doing Greeley Crimes and Old Times here on Dave's Gone By. Let's do some more modern times. A caller near 26th Avenue reported, speaking of, a white car driving past, going about 70 miles an hour, with a person banging on the window shouting, "Help me."
Oh my God.
Yeah. Was that driven by Brian Laundrie? I don't know.
That's scary though. Yeah. That would be very disturbing if I saw that, because you don't know if it's a prank or if it's true. That's very disturbing.
I would call the cops on that. Yeah,
I would. That's very disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very disturbing.
Although, again, think about it. 70 miles an hour, right? That's very fast on that road. Zhooshing by, windows closed, bang. How would you know that they were actually saying "help me"? I mean, just you know.
No, because you would see, like, you could tell, like, if someone's like, you know, like, you could tell that you could read lips.
That could be. Anywho, just you know, it's the logician in me.
That's scary. That is so scary.
This is even scarier. A caller on a Weld County road wanted officers to check out a backpack found in the area with a pair of pants next to it.
Somebody's making.
Yeah. I've said this very often. Backpacks should not change in public. Leave your pants on backpack, go home, put on shorts, put on something else. Hey, let's go elsewhere. We have an elsewhere. This is when we find one story that is not local. It has nothing to do with Greeley or northern Colorado, but it is still an odd or weird story in the news. I gotta find it here. Here it is. We go all the way to New Zealand for this one. He's going Auk for Auckland. I don't know if it's in Auckland, but this is in New Zealand. By the way, it's noon. Happy noon Eastern time, everybody, in the Daverhood. Remember, we do Dave's Gone By every Saturday from 9 until noon-ish. We're starting the ish portion of the show. It's our 817th episode of the show. We're calling it Green Day. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, and we are in the midst of Greeley crimes and old times. Well, turns out cows can be potty trained as easily as toddlers, if not easier. Scientists at the University of Auckland taught 11 of 16 cows to use the mooloo. Mooloo. The researchers used a sweet treat to coax the cows to push through a gate and urinate in a special pen. It took only 2 weeks to train the young calves. Quote, a study author said, cows are at least as good as children ages 2 to 4. What started as kind of a half joke on a New Zealand talk show led to a serious study about animal waste that is published in the journal Current Biology. Urine has nitrogen in it. Mix it with poo, and it becomes ammonia, which can also taint the water, and it waters their taint, apparently, and put nitrous oxide in the air. Well, a single cow can produce about 8 gallons of wee-wee a day. And nitrous oxide makes up 7% of all greenhouse gases. So I guess we can figure out how to corral the cows and make them poo and pee in, one place, and then I guess we can control better.
Blow it up. I mean,
yeah.
That's dangerous.
Well, just put a little bullet in there and just, yeah. But anywho, the mooloo. I love that. The mooloo.
I love it. The mooloo, like the Moshaloo in the Bronx.
Well, how much does a park weigh? Let's go back to really old times here. Let's have something from 1921. Oh dear. Oh, well, we have hobo alerts. I believe, hon, that we should also have moocher alerts. Because, as much as we want to keep tabs on hobos, we also want to keep tabs on moochers, maxi or mini. Weary Willie, a well-known Greeley moocher, was picked up by police. And by the way, Weary Willie is every man on his honeymoon. He had 4 weeks growth on his face, and he had not taken a bath in a year. I guess that's how they found him. He was escorted by police outside of Greeley and was to keep walking and not come back. He said he was heading for Casper, Wyoming, where, if he still smells like that, he's not going to be a friendly ghost, I'll tell you that. Weary Willie the Moocher. This is the story of a Willie the Moocher. What else was there? Nothing rhymes.
He was a real hooch goocher.
People smelled him and they went, ooch, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, my goodness, honey. We've had a hobo alert from 1921. We've had a moocher alert from 1921. And now, how incredibly apropos, we have a potato alert! Okay, Potato, you can stop. No, I can't! Yes, you can. Potato, stop! Okay. Oh, man. Oof. Potato alert.
Oh, my Lord, he's really going at it there.
Potato crops around Weld County are suffering from early blight, which attacks the top of the crops. My hat!
Oh, no.
This year, it was caused by the large amount of rainfall we've received. Late potato crops should be all right. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, my God. I nearly vodka'd myself. I know, Potato, I know. Go over there. Welcome to the family. Oh, I love him. Welcome to the family. Let's do one more crime or two, and then we'll call this a segment here on Dave's Gone By. Going back to Greeley crimes and old times for new times. How about this? A man on 33rd Avenue requested the Weld County Sheriff's Office respond, and not the police, because he had been harassed by them before. He reported a huge spider's nest that someone purposely placed
What?
on his home. Also, his ex put black mold in the house.
What?
I love how some of these are like, and some of them are like, what?
It seems very complicated. Like, how could somebody get a spider's nest and bring it to his home? That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can learn how to do that on the web. And I'm sure this guy's house fit the mold. After all, it is our Green Day. Little mold joke there. Yeah. A caller in Greeley reported a boy around age 10 to 14. Remember, this is people calling the police. A caller in Greeley reported that a boy around age 10 to 14 said he was going to kick a 2-year-old and he kept pulling his hair. This is why police put in their 20 years and get out as fast as they can. I don't think it's the danger. I don't think it's getting shot. I don't think it's dealing with domestic. I think it's having to deal with like a 10-year-old, somebody calling in the idea that a 10-year-old was threatening a 2-year-old for pulling his hair. That, I think enough of those would make me after 20 years go, yeah, I'm turning in the badge. And I'm going to go home, have a steak dinner, and eat my gun. There you go. Last one. A man on Glenmere Boulevard reported, again, he called the police. A man on Glenmere Boulevard reported he found a turtle.
Is that Glenmere? Wow.
The story could stop right there. It doesn't quite.
That's sweet.
He believed it was an exotic Russian turtle.
Wow.
After doing a Google search. So I guess he wanted to alert somebody that there was a really serious exotic Russian turtle over on Glenmere Boulevard. I would not, if I saw something like that, I wouldn't call the police. You know who I call?
Who?
The Shell Station. And that's Greeley Crimes and Old Times for this Saturday. I'm so sorry, folks. It is Saturday, September 25th, 2021. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's Joyce. That was Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
He wasn't.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
La la la.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi, yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Well, it's about 10 after 12 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood, where you're watching Dave's Gone By. Please remember that you can go to our website, davesgoneby.com, to see and hear our years and years of archived episodes. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a dime. All you have to do is just go on the web, davesgoneby.com, and you can go scroll back or search for the very first episode we ever did. And not quite next week. I think the week after, or no, maybe it is next week, will be our anniversary show where we begin our 20th year of the broadcast.
Wow.
If you want to hear our hour-long first show, it was on WGBB Radio, 11 o'clock at night, Sunday night, back in 2002. It's right there on the website. A show that we did 3 years later, 8 years later, 15 years later. We've archived all of it. It's gotten to the point, there was a thing where I said, you know what, I want to do 365 or 6 episodes of this. So that when I'm old and indolent and useless and if I'm strapped to a bed or something, once a day for a year, I can listen to a different new episode of Dave's Gone By, something from my past. And then and it's a manageable thing because they were an hour and a half. That'd be part of my day. Now, there are episodes that are 5 hours long, and I've done 800 of them. I will die before I ever hear any full complement of all the episodes we've done. So perhaps will you, but you can try. From the very first one, we've saved nearly every episode of Dave's Gone By that we've done, including the first 14, 15 years that were audio only, all the way up into the videos we've been doing since the Facebook era. They're all on davesgoneby.com, listed, searchable. There's a separate archive of all the interviews we've done. We've also put all our archives at archive.org. It's a nonprofit website, and that just gathers entertainment and literature and art from hundreds of years to the present. And so we're up there. All our episodes, archive.org on the Dave's Gone By channel. If you just want the audio, even of our recent shows, you're a podcasty kind of person, we have that at castbox.fm. Castbox.fm. And there, if you're on the go, all of these, by the way, are also free websites, but Castbox, download it, MP3 it, and so forth. So however you want to listen, go there. You can just listen to the audio. Or, again, you can listen to the audio on davesgoneby.com, too. You don't have to watch the video while it's playing. You can also download or stream.
I'll put your thing in. Sorry.
Don't forget, we also have our YouTube channel, Dave's Gone By, where most of our stuff is. Some of it is muted for copyright reasons. Our older shows used music. It was partially a music show. And so YouTube had issues with that. Stick with davesgoneby.com. That's really the best place to see us. And for one more week, or maybe two, I think actually just one more, if you have Altice Cable in Nassau County, Long Island, and you're flipping through the channels, Monday morning, early, 1 a.m. Mondays, for 1 hour, you can watch an excerpt of Dave's Gone By on Channel 20. Or on Tuesday morning, 4 a.m., you can watch a different excerpt.
Didn't they move you up to 9?
That starts in October. Starting in October, we got a great time slot. It's going to be Tuesdays, 9:30 p.m. Like friggin' prime time slot on Channel 20 for when that happened. Not this week, but starting in October. But for now, we got one more week when we're on 1 a.m. Mondays, 4 a.m. Tuesdays, Channel 20 on Altice Cablevision. So if you're flipping through and you see me, that's why. But still, the very best place to watch us is davesgoneby.com. Email me, davesgoneby@aol.com. Check my Twitter feed, Radio
What's
Dave
the show
2.
called what's the show called on Altice?
It's called The Daverhood. So it's just a 1 hour, almost random excerpt of a recent show that we just kind of chop up and we throw on the air just to see if we can get some new viewership, just to see if, like, somebody who isn't on Facebook or has never heard of this program, and suddenly, what the hell is this? And they start watching and maybe they'll enjoy it. Anyway.
I can't find I'm looking for the public access on Altice, but I can't.
Yeah, they make it impossible. They don't want to deal with public. No cable company. If there wasn't a law mandating that cable companies would have public access, they wouldn't bother to do it. They have no interest in it whatsoever. But then again, you get people like Glendora and me and Rabbi Sal and Zabby and Cognac Wellerlane and all these and Ugly George back in the day. Legends of a sort, but necessary for the TV and cultural landscape, I think. Anyway, but speaking of, again, of the archives of Dave's Gone By, the point is that let's say you missed the marvelous interview that Rabbi Saul Solomon had with Amanda Green earlier on this episode. It's okay. It's okay. You can either watch it right on Facebook, because Facebook automatically archives all the shows, but obviously Facebook only has the last couple of years of our programming. Or you can go to davesgoneby.com and watch Amanda Green there. You can also watch, when we were talking about Robert Dubach, who was doing a show off Broadway that unfortunately, God knows how much money this poor guy spent on bringing it back just a little bit too early to perhaps the wrong venue for it. That's what I've been trying to avoid with my show. So, but Robert Duback, we had a nice conversation with him a few weeks back. If you're into music, Moshe Denberg was on the show, so was Ben Sidran over the past few weeks. All of them, they're there. These are friends of the Daverhood, people who have been on this program. We consider them friends, we consider them family. We like to keep you posted and let you know what they're up to long after they've been on the program. And so we call this segment Friends of the Daverhood. So who are some friends of the Daverhood to tell about this week? Well, first of all, we do want to express condolences to our personal close friends, Fred Cleaver and Wendy Hybe. She lost her mom this past week after some time in hospice. So a big shout out to them, a sorrowful shout out, and best wishes to Wendy. She's got some other stuff that she's going through, but we know she'll come through it like a champ. Want to let you know that tomorrow night, I think we mentioned this before, the Tony Awards are happening. And they're making it such a weird... So it's really not that different from when they were on public television and the other part was on CBS.
Why do you say that?
What's happening this year is CBS made a deal with Paramount Television. So part of the Tony Awards will be... the actual award ceremony is going to be on Paramount Plus TV, a subsidiary of CBS, and it's you have to pay. It's like I don't know, $5 a month for this service or some kind of one-time fee, and it's kind of like what Hamilton did.
Oh, with Disney.
When they were with Disney. So CBS is trying that with Paramount for the Tony Awards. So if you want to watch all 4 hours of Tony material, 2 hours is going to be on Paramount, and then the CBS portion from 9 to 11 will be, it's not even going to be really awards. It's just going to be a big old Broadway's back celebration with, clips and performances from all these Broadway shows that are either new or were playing before the shutdown, and they'll do musical numbers. So that should be fun, and that's free. That's on CBS from 9 to 11. But if you have the Paramount thing, you can watch that, and there'll be... I guess there'll be some red carpet stuff that I'll be digitally part of, and I think Rabbi Saul may be too, even though you won't see us, you just might hear us. And then at least an hour of the actual awards being given on Paramount Plus TV. So however they're working it, that's what's going to be happening. And I'm mentioning it not just because it looks like I'll be covering it on some level, and I'll tell you about it next week, but our friend of the Daverhood, Danny Burston, is Tony nominated and seems like the favorite for the Broadway musical Moulin Rouge, which is also going to be the favorite for... I much prefer Jagged Little Pill, but Moulin Rouge seems to have the inside track for Best Musical in the Tony Awards that are happening tomorrow. I certainly wish Danny Burston the best. It's been a very tough time for him. He survived COVID. His wife, our friend of the Daverhood, Rebecca Luker, she passed away. She was dealing with, I think it was either ALS or MS. It was one of the two. So it was a very, very heavy time that he has been undergoing. So, a Tony Award would be real nice for him tomorrow. We wish him absolutely well, and to all the nominees also. Want to let you know, David Sheward mentioned this. Richard Nelson's play, What Happened, is at Hunter College. It's playing now through October 8th, and we get a 2-for-1 here. Our friend of the Daverhood, J.O. Sanders, is co-starring in it. Now through the end of October, Extended at Birdland, Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano doing their cabaret stuff. And by the way, another reminder that Amanda Green is going to be there October 4th. So go see her at Birdland. Now through January 9th, so on Broadway from now until the early part of the new year, Waitress at the Ethel Barrymore Theater, which features our friend Dakin Matthews. Oh, and speaking of tomorrow again with the Tony Awards, Woody King Jr., the founder of the new Federal Theater off Broadway, well, he is getting a special Tony Award for excellence for founding that theater. Congratulations. This Monday night, Melissa Errico sings New York at Feinstein's 54 Below. On Tuesday, wow, I should have arranged these differently. Go figure. Judy Kay, she has not been on the show, we should get her, but Judy Kay is hosting a tribute to the late Rebecca Luker. It was ALS, it's a benefit for ALS, and it's going to be on YouTube, so you can watch it there and contribute. On October 1st and October 2nd, so moving into next weekend, Chaz Palminteri is doing his one-man show, A Bronx Tale, at the Waterbury Palace Theater in Connecticut. It's a terrific show. I wasn't that big a fan of the musical version of A Bronx Tale, but the solo show is excellent. Go see it at the Waterbury Palace Theater Friday and Saturday, October 1st and 2nd. And speaking of next weekend, you want to book for that because Steve Kaplan is starting up another 4-week comedy intensive online. Go to kaplancomedy.com. Reminding you...
That's hard to say.
Oh my God, everything's hard to say after 3 hours here. Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night. Where? Birdland. Go see it, birdlandjazz.com. Evan Seplow, what a wonderful friend he is. He edits stagebuddy.com, stagebuddy.com. Go check out that website of New York Things to Do. Dr. Demento still doing Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. And he has the old ones archived there too. His site, you have to pay a fee. But oh my God, if you join for the year or you pay a little, like $2 or $4 for a show, you can listen to a Dr. Demento show from like 1978. It's exceptional. And he still makes new ones every week. And he's like 80 years old. Dr. Demento. And finally, Stuart Brown is the founder of the website soundsofbroadway.com, where you can listen to Broadway show tunes 24/7. And Bob Cudmore, doing podcasts of upstate New York history at bobcudmore.com. And those, my friends, are, in fact, the friends of the Daverhood. Oh. Yeah, you go with your bad self, Bronx. I doubt anybody actually ever said that to him. So we've done so much stuff on this episode of Dave's Gone By. What a terrific time we've had. So, we're 3+ hours into the program. If you missed any or part of it, give us about 24 hours. We'll have it posted on davesgoneby.com. But we did Greeley Crimes and Old Times. We talked to Amanda Green with Rabbi Saul in the Daverhood. By the way, remember that his website is shalomdammit.com. Shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com. What else do we... And we talked to David Sheward and Vicki Quade and Leslie Hoban Blake as part of our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. I rambled and bantered about, oh my gosh, Eurocrema. And about, oh yes, what, how do Japanese people have sex? With ninja cock. There it is. Ninja cock. And let's not forget, it is a foamy product coated with chocolate. They don't say what the foam is, whether that's even edible, although it does have the Bezvestachen bola, just in case. So I hope you don't get Ebola from eating it. And I did want to save. I saved 2 things for the end of the show. First of all, before we get to our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, I didn't just get a snack, ladies and gentlemen. I found in this supermarket that I was talking about literally 3 hours ago on this program, I found a beverage. And yes, they have Coca-Cola in the supermarket, and they have Sprite, and what happens to Royal Crown? Did I ever even see Royal Crown anymore? But they have Pepsi, and they have Fanta, I guess. And then they have this. And the funny thing is, I was talking last week with Joyce about listening to Caribbean radio on the dial, on our radio dial in the car, where we always, just for fun, go to like 93.5 FM, and we listen to this Caribbean station in New York. And literally 9 times out of 10, when you turn on this station, it's this guy, David Squeeze Anarchy. I don't know if he's an actual anarchist. David Squeeze Anarchy, who he's just one of these indefatigable people who is selling to he sells like credit score repair, but more importantly, he also completely differently sells this stuff that he makes with vitamins and herbs. It's like a supplement beverage called BioLife or Bio Oil and Bio this and Bio that. And I'm telling you, I don't know if he owns the radio station or if he has a great deal with them or if he just makes a ton of money fixing credit scores, but it doesn't matter. When you turn on this radio station, 9 times out of 10, it's him, pre-recorded usually, so they play the same things over and over, pushing BioLife and Bio Oil, which is just basically, it's not a medicine, there's no guarantee of anything, and yet he says it'll work wonders if you have this and you have to be healthy. It's the finest herbal extracts and stuff. Well, I don't need to pay whatever it is for a bottle of the Bio Oil, which, by the way, he says has no shipping. No shipping! He can get so worked up. He's such a great pitch man, like the old Coney Island school. So you buy 1 bottle, I throw in 8 free. 8 free bottle costs 1 bottle. Bio Oil, no shipping. No shipping! If you think I'm exaggerating, you've got to hear, if you're in New York, on WVI something, it's Caribbean Radio, David Squeeze Anarchy pushing bio. So, but I don't have to buy it. I don't have to take a spoonful of Bio Oil twice a day or put it on my cornflakes or anything. Because, ladies and gentlemen, at the grocery near my in-laws' house in Queens, there's a supermarket that puts out a fine herbal extract soda. Oh yes, my friends. Finest herbal extracts in carbonated goo, my friends. And I tried it, and it's actually very drinkable. Is it as good as Coca-Cola? No, it is not. Is it as good as Dr. Brown's cream? No, nothing is. But this, look at it, it's finest herbs. Doesn't matter that it still has 110 calories per 8 ounces of this stuff. It's got sodium. It's got all the a lot of the usual soda stuff. Let me read you. Oh, it's hard to read now. Well, now I'm talking about this carbonated beverage, which is tough to. Let's see if I can read it like this: carbonated water. Because I don't want to show this. Plant extracts. I should have left more fluid in here because the dark fluid makes it easier to read.
Can you read it?
Can you? It's got, and they don't even delineate them. They just say plant extracts in this thing. Can you see it?
You want to know what's in it?
Because it's in light blue. Yeah.
Where is it? Okay. I don't see where it is.
Oh, hold on. It's in light blue. I think here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Carbonated water, sugar, a mixture of plant extracts, acid citric color, sulfite, ammonium, caramel, preservative, sodium benzoate, natural flavors. Best to see the date on top, and it's bottled by Atlantic Droga Kolisinka, doing business as, I can't say that. It's imported by a place in Ridgewood, an Underdog.
Was it from Mexico?
No, it's Slovenia.
Oh, Slovenia. Yes, I forgot to mention, it's a Slovenian cola made of herbal. Actually, it didn't say caffeine, so I guess it does not.
No, they said it's non-caffeinated. It's herbal.
Yeah. Okay, so it is a little better than some of the other sodas. But ladies and gentlemen, finest herbal extract soda, or as they like to call it, it's Cocta. I like to have I know when I'm having a snack and I feel like some ninjan cock, I want to have it with a delicious sip of my herbal extract cocta. Yes. What kind of fakakta program is this? And you know, you figure, okay, it's just short for cocktail. Still, it's just like, if I had it, if I were an evil sort of person working at a supermarket, I would just somehow figure out a way, yeah, to line all the bottles up just like this.
Maybe they do.
Because that's where I wouldn't blame them if they did. But a delicious bottle, and you know what, I'm going to drink it. I'm going to have some. Just so you know, this is real. Here we go. Smells okay. Smells a little fruitier than your basic regular soda. Going to close that cap. L'chaim. A little warm. Tastes better cold as soda would, but very drinkable. Rather pleasant. Not in the league with Coke. But then again, it doesn't have the...
Well, Coke is not made in Slovenia, so...
Oh, this is true. So, if you're ever in the market for a Slovenian soda, Cocta. Yeah. Let's get to our... speaking of which, let's get to our Colorado Limerick of the damned. This is where, because Joyce and I have lived in Colorado for several years, I just got it into my head to write a poem, and then another, and then another, and then another, about all these different places in Colorado. Big cities, little towns, everything in between. Got about 170 of them so far. And I just wrote another one. Here it is.
You're the poetry man. A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain,
Colorado, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, our Colorado Limerick of the damned for this Saturday, September 25th, 2021. We go to Lake City, Colorado. Lake City, Colorado. Let me tell you a little about it before I read the actual poem. It's in Hinsdale County in southwestern Colorado. It's named for a nearby lake, Lake San Cristobal. Population of the town about 400 people. Lake City is in a valley near mountains, and so they found mineral deposits there in the early 1870s, pushed all the natives living there aside so it could become a mining town. And then this is the place where Alfred Packer and his fellow miners, although they were full-grown men, had a really bad winter. And all his fellow travelers died of consumption because he consumed them. Yes, the great Alfred Packer. I've told this story, for gosh, I mean, when I was a child. You know this story. Of course you do. My cousin at the time, he later divorced my other cousin, but he was a teacher at a university out in California. And they, I guess as a joke about the quality of the cafeteria food in the cafeteria, someone put up a sign calling it the Alfred Packer Memorial Kitchen. Because Alfred Packer was, of course, the most famous cannibal who ever lived. And I so loved that story that, much to my mom's chagrin, the next time she made like a burned steak or something that was really awful in the kitchen, because she's not a bad cook, but she tends, as a Jewish woman, to overcook things, I put up a sign in our kitchen calling it the Alfred Packer Memorial Kitchen, which was... Yeah, thanks, Mom. Anywho, so Alfred Packer has always had a sweet spot in my heart. And as a matter of fact, if you... the guys from South Park, before they did South Park, did a musical all about Alfred Packer. I forget what the name of it is, but it was done off Broadway, and I think they developed it out in Colorado. So Alfred Packer is a real kind of social phenomenon, an icon, if you will. And all this stuff happened around Lake City, Colorado. By the way, Al Packer was tried, convicted, escaped, tried again. He was sentenced to hang. That sentence was commuted, and then he was sentenced to 40 years in prison, and then released in 1901. So what a life, man. Anyway, a little bit more about Lake City. A few years after that, the railroad came in, and the town really was booming until mining died down in the early 1900s. But saving the day was tourism, because it is quite beautiful there. And it continues to this day for boating, hunting, fishing, hiking, mountain climbing, camping. And what's really amazing, I really would love to see this, to this day, the Lake City Historic District has a bunch of buildings that were built 120 to 150 years ago.
Wow.
And they're still standing out in Lake City, Colorado.
That's
Well,
awesome.
It is, but this poem's going to knock them down. If anything can bring down those 150-year-old buildings, it's our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. So, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. For Lake City, Colorado, push the children out of the room, please. Ahem. There was a young girl in Lake City whose shorthand and typing were shitty. However, her boss would never get cross, 'cause she'd let him nut on her titty. Please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. I do believe that is the first time I've ever used nut as a verb.
Yes.
I'm so proud of
Leslie
myself.
went into that whole valsin and I was like, Leslie,
Yeah.
a German lesson.
Well, we're waltzing away from that. davesgoneby@aol.com is the way to contact me. Radio Dave 2 is my Twitter feed. davesgoneby.com is the website. By the way, got to give a thank you to a bunch of folks again. First of all, thank you. I forgot to mention them. Our good friends at a place called Hewlett Minuteman Press in Hewlett, Long Island. The Torang family operates and runs this franchise of Minuteman Press. I can't tell you to go there and buy stuff from them, because then Facebook and YouTube
They're just nice people.
they're just really, really nice. And the job they do is.
Don't they have a puppy?
I haven't seen it. They used to keep a dog in there during the pandemic. I think they stopped doing that. But the Torang family, great people. I won't tell you if they do great work or not. You can discover that for yourself. I won't tell you all the kind of printing and copying and silkscreening things that they do, because, it's going to give me a problem with Cablevision. No. Just want to say, Hewlett Minuteman Press happen to be known as the Copy Kings of Hewlett. And maybe I'll just leave it at that. But thank them ever so much. Thank you also to Leslie Hoban Blake, David Sheward, and Vicki Quade for playing the Today Yesterday game. Thank you so much to Amanda Green.
She was a wonderful guest.
She was great. She was
so interesting, right? How she working with other people, living with her parents, like that.
Yeah. And by the way, go see her Monday night, October 4th, 7 p.m. at Birdland. Again, got to be fully vaxxed, and we'll be checking your stuff at the door.
It says that I put the link in, and it says it it says that when you get the tickets. Yeah. Birdlandjazz.com. And by all means, it's Mr. Saturday Night. Billy Crystal is co-writing that musical with her. So that's going to come to Broadway. You know it. Maybe not. It won't be this year. Maybe not even next year. But somewhere in the 22-23 season, Mr. Saturday Night is going to make it to a Broadway theater with Amanda Green's name on the marquee. So, yay. And look out for Female Troubles. And also Amanda Green's musical. Remember that Rabbi Saul Solomon's website is shalomdammit.com, and his Twitter feed is at Rabbi Saul Solomon. You're going to want to check him out there too. And before we go, let me tell you about some guests that we have coming up in the Daverhood. Fingers crossed. First of all, this is going to be great. Marvelous guest coming up. Fellow radio person. Guy who was on the air 30-something years ago now, maybe closer to 40, because he was close friends
with John Lennon and Yoko Ono, among a million other celebrities that he knew and interviewed, but good friends with John and Yoko. And he had access, courtesy of Yoko, to unreleased early recordings of Lennon, Beatles, solo stuff that he turned into a radio show called The Lost Lennon Tapes. I don't know if you remember that. But he was also on Los Angeles television news doing interviews with incredibly famous people. Elliot Mintz in the Daverhood, probably next week. Not 100% confirmed on this, but probably next week, if not the week after. Elliot Mintz, longtime broadcaster. He has a terrific website of dozens and dozens of interviews with people along the lines of some seriously famous folks. They're not in my head at this particular moment, but if you name them, he probably interviewed them.
Or talked about them.
Or talked about them. And he's lined up about 150 of these that are on his site. Plus, he's got tons of audio on his site of his talking about his life and his career, on the famous people he's known, and his thoughts. He's a really cogent, deliberate, thoughtful, interesting speaker. I wish I had his level of thought process.
You do, but you just talk faster because we're from New York. He's just a more like, well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. He's more like, he's like the meditation thing we watch at night at the bookstore, Headspace. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he was a follower of Baba Ram Dass and sort of that quality of thought as well. But Elliot Mintz, man, coming up in the neighborhood. And yes, he'll talk about John and Yoko and probably Bob Dylan, whom he represented at one point. He's also a kind of a PR person and a spin doctor, if you will. He represents Paris Jackson, and he knew Michael Jackson very well.
That's right.
Lots to talk about with Elliot Mintz coming up in a week or two in the Daverhood. We're also, don't want to give away too much, but we're pretty confirmed with playwright Ken Ludwig. If you remember the Broadway hit Lend Me a Tenor, he wrote it. Ken Ludwig, and he's got another play in the works that's out of town. We'll be talking with him too. And also with book author, theater critic Alexis Green, going to be coming into the Daverhood because she's got a book coming out about playwright and theater person Emily Mann. She's done this biography of Emily Mann. So it's a long time coming, having Alexis Green on this program. So yeah, lots of reasons to tune in. Lots of reasons to check the website, davesgoneby.com, and this Facebook page, Dave's Gone By, just to see what's coming up next, who's going to be on the show, how we're doing it. Don't miss it. Anywho, anything else? Is there anything? No, all this stuff I was going to talk about. Thank you, darling. What do I have? Okay, we ticked the boxes. We got Cocta, we got Eurocrema.
There's not much left in that box, buddy.
Oh well, yeah. Well, I haven't opened this one yet. I haven't eaten the Ninja Cock, so I'm not even going there. We opened the brand new potato. This is very cool. One other thing. Could you kindly hang me the bag or toss me the bag that's over there? So Joyce and I still, I go to the supermarket. I buy, no, it's not that. It's yeah. Joyce and I go to the supermarket.
I think it's bok choy.
It could be.
We're going to go with that.
But some things we want to order online. I can't get them at the local grocery, or there's certain good organic stuff that she likes from these places. So she will order from Instacart. And we've had, really good stuff from them, and it's been perfectly fine. And then we tried Instacart a couple of days ago, and we had from a different place, because the thing about Instacart is it's not like a big supermarket called Instacart. They have all these other stores that their shoppers go to. So this time we tried something called Food Bazaar, because one or two of the things we were looking for they had at Food Bazaar. And the Food Bazaar comes like same day, brings just the right stuff. It worked out great. And they bring it in a bag, though, from Food Bazaar, which is okay. It's fine. Here, let me show this side of the bag. The Urban Ethnic Shopping Experience, Food Bazaar. And look at these. This is what are these called? These are not asparagus, right?
Artichoke.
I
can't see what you're pointing. It's
here,
artichoke.
show these.
That's
Yeah.
artichoke.
Asparagus and artichoke.
Uh-huh.
Okay, because it's all about the vegetables and the fresh produce and the veggies and the fruits. Okay, artichokes, asparagus, we get it. Lovely seed things here. Maybe olives, I'm not sure what those are. Fine. We turn to the back of the bag. Food Bazaar. Now this is an artichoke.
Yeah.
Ain't no question that is definitely an artichoke.
Asparagus.
With asparagus underneath it. Something kind of a little weird, a little sexual about what's going on here with this artichoke and these asparagus. Sort of a little gangbang thing going on here. But then Joyce, I didn't even see this. Joyce noticed this.
I was concerned about that. I didn't notice. I was very concerned.
What is this? It's not a lettuce. To me, it's a zebra's ass. I don't know, or maybe.
We think the perfect thing is bok choy.
The vagina, but it doesn't look anything like bok choy.
I don't know. Maybe the person can't draw. It might be their kid.
If bok choy had a vagina, a hairy vagina, it would look like this. What is this? I thought maybe it's the back of a lion's head, or a tiger, maybe. I mean, I get this. I guess artichoke, okay. Asparagus, I get. What animal, vegetable, mineral could this possibly be? And why does it have a hairy cooter? I can't even begin to imagine, ladies and gentlemen. If you know, I mean, it should really be called Food Bizarre instead of Bazaar, but there it is. And we tried. I tried Googling. I tried their website to ask. If I put vagina in the search term, it didn't come up with anything. Perhaps, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Well, so I tried to see if this was some kind of food vagina. I would, but I can't. Anywho, I don't know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the 817th episode of Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce, all our terrific guests on the show. Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, we will be back next Saturday from 9 until noon Eastern Time or thereabouts with the 18th episode of Dave's Gone By.
Oh, that's like 818. It's like 8th and 8th.
Yeah, it's ooh. I'm predicting great things, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
So please check the website, davesgoneby.com. Please come back and see us. Please tell your friends that we're here. Now that it's this weird thing, I've been getting a lot of Facebook friend requests because I've been trying to cull. I've got almost 5,000, so it's almost too many.
You gotta go to the business page. Huh?
Yeah. And we may do that. We may also look into
getting.
Can you
migrate your friends over?
Well, I think I have to ask them to friend.
Yeah,
as opposed to just schlunk them over. I'm going to say, hey, please come. If you like the show, if you like me, come out of this page and come here where we have more than 5,000 people. Because I feel bad because I'm going to hit 5,000 and not allow real people. And at the same time, it's still every single person who said, hey, I want to be friends on Facebook. I've got to be like, okay, are you real? Or are you spam?
Are you AI?
Because sometimes it's like these beautiful young women from foreign countries who are showing their boobs, or they're covered, unfortunately, but they're showing some boobage, and I'm like, I know that's the tragedy of my life. I know they're not real. I know that no beautiful young woman in her 20s with big tits wants to be my friend. They never did, even when I was 20. But middle-aged people who are weird and have a strange sense of humor, they want to be friends all the time. So if you are trying to be a friend on Facebook, I guess if you're watching this now, you already are. But, forgive me for messaging you and saying, please answer this question. What's the name of my show?
Ah, clever.
And you know what the name of my show is, right?
Days gone by, days gone by, days gone by, days gone by, days gone by.
I don't know about you, but I think this episode was a full 60% Eurocrema.